started. Billy White Shoes Johnson shortly after it started, and then it was Steve Bartkowski who went down. Over 80% of their total offense from last year, so they have been in problems.
The Atlanta Falcons finally won something, the toss. No, Luckhurst will kick off. They have lost the toss. The Eagles will receive the football. The Falcons, and you can see them in their traditional red, have lost 9 games in a row, which threatens to break the all-time Atlanta losing mark. Should they lose today, 10 in a row would beat one that was set in 1966 in this city. Waters waits for it. No, that's Cooper watching the ball go in the end zone, touchback. In the Eagles offense, which Joe Pisarcik will bring out, since Jaworski is back home with rehabbing from his fractured fibula. Here's the Eagle offensive lineup that you'll see from the 20. Pisarcik at quarterback. He ran his way to victory against New England a week ago. Wilbert Montgomery, Hubie Oliver, Kenny Jackson is back in there, and Mike Quick, 2 of the best outside receivers in football. Dean Maraldi, Kenny, Dennard, Ron Baker, Mitchell, and John Spagnola having a great year at tight end. Joe Pisarcik, Canadian football player, came down with the Giants and spent 3 seasons. He's been 4 in Philadelphia, and he loves his starting role. 1st and 10, out in the flat. Oliver, Hubie Oliver with the catch, picks up at about 5 yards before he's bounced off. There's Rockman. He comes from Arizona. We talked to him about that. We'll pass as much information as we can along to you as the afternoon progresses. The defensive line, Provence, Burley, Rick Bryan, a big kid from Macho Grande, Oklahoma. He is a good-looking young rookie football player. And Don Smith, the veteran at right end. Fry, Curry, Al Richardson, good linebacking. They've got some young ones that are pushing them right now. Bobby Butler, James Britt, Kenny Johnson, a great player, and Tommy Pridemore maybe in his last season or so. 2nd down and 5. Inside move. Montgomery picks up about 2.5 yards. Wilbert coming off his first 100-yard rushing game a week ago in 20-some-odd games. Don Smith made the tackle there. That Washington score, 26-20 in the 4th quarter. Keep in mind that a missed extra point always hangs around, doesn't it?
Still hasn't gone away, has it? And that was after the first touchdown.
Of course, if St. Louis wins that, they win the division. If St. Louis loses that, they'll be like everybody else watching on television. 3rd down and 2 on the 28. Shotgun for Joe Pisarcik. That's quick in motion. Good snap. Pisarcik, quick drop. Has a receiver. Quick takes it. Gets to the 36-yard line. Scott Case manhandles him there. There's the young man, the only Eagle representative heading for the Pro Bowl in Hawaii later on. He's down on yardage and catches, but not in effectiveness. He's quite a player, isn't he?
Well, he's not down in respect at all either. And when Kenny Jackson went out with an injury earlier in the year, that all he saw was double coverage Mike Quick did for the next several games. And that's one big reason that some of those numbers are down. But everyone in the league knows what kind of ball player he is, and it's a good one.
And when Quick catches a 10-yard pass, it can become an 80-yarder very quickly. What a great runner after the catch. 1st and 10 now. Eagles with the opening drive underway. Montgomery bounces out. Good tackle by number 77, Rick Bryan. When talking to the Eagles about Bryan, the #1 draft out of Oklahoma, they said, when have you seen an inside tackle on a 4-man front that leads his team in tackles? And that's what he does.
72 solo tackles, and I guarantee you, he said the guy was his hero, and he plays a lot like him. And if they're what I've seen in the last couple of years, anybody come up at defensive tackle that looks like Randy White, it's that guy right there, number 77, Rick Bryan. He's a player.
In a t-shirt yesterday, his arms looked like legs.
Right, there wasn't enough room in the room for us with his arms.
2nd down and call it 10. Pisarcik is nailed back at the 28-yard line. A full blitz from the outside. Richardson and Curry coming. And that's something that the Falcons don't do a lot. There is a flag down. Ben Dreith is the referee that is heading this
offense, illegal motion number 82, decline a penalty.
We'll bring up 3rd and long. Obviously a good call by Curry. The officials, and I just happened to catch this on Dick Vermeil's Lieber's broadcast on the Giant game, that the officiating is down, what, to 3% now? Over last year, early in the year, it was up 15%. So fewer flags. Either the players are playing by the rules better or that it's not being called as often. 3rd down and 18. Shotgun time for the Eagles. Sargent going across the middle, a diving catch. It's going to be close to a 1st down by Mike Quick, and what a catch it was, right off the deck.
There's a great catch, but I think he might be just a little bit short.
17-yarder. This guy has legs that are about 5 feet longer than anybody else's that I've ever seen.
You'll see it make an inside move right here on the post pattern, and the ball's down there low, and he got it all. And it's down there between his legs now. But you see, and they didn't see it, so he got away with one there.
Horan's in the punt. The Eagles have gone quite a few times on 4th down, but not right now, not this early. A great punt. Kenny Johnson's waiting. This is a projectile taken at the 7-yard line by Johnson. He gets back to the 12. Good coverage by the Eagles and solid contact. Looked like we might have a very physical football game. Kranek making the tackle. A 50-yard punt, a 3-yard return. No score. No score here in the 1st quarter. Tom Brookshier with Wayne Walker. You look at Mike Morawski, the quarterback that has replaced Steve Bartkowski, who's out for the season and maybe a career. Here's the first handoff. This is to Gerald Riggs. We'll set this lineup in just a minute. Over 1,400 yards rushing for Riggs now. Look at this score. We talked about that extra point. St. Louis 27-26. How'd they do that?
Listen, Lomax 19 for 21 in the 2nd half for 267 yards and 2 touchdowns, so he's brought him back.
And that was a Lomax to Roy Green 18-yard touchdown pass. Still a lot of time left in that game. Remember, if St. Louis wins, they win the title, and also Washington stays in that wild card chase. 2nd down and 3. Morawski's first pass, quick drop. Jackson hit very hard on the far side of the field by Herman Edwards. Good tackle, no completion, and a well-remembered shot. Morawski, Gerald Riggs, the ground crushers. We told you over 1,400 yards now. Cliff Benson is the H-back. Alfred Jackson, Stacy Bailey. Bailey had 2 touchdowns a year ago in that Atlanta loss to Philadelphia. Ken, Tillman, Van Note, Scully, Miller, and Arthur Cox. Miller's having a problem, and Jeff Van Note, by the way, has been playing since 1969. Jerry Williams was the Eagle coach at that time. 3rd down and 2. Morawski getting some time and missing number 82 on the side, Stacy Bailey, and threw it right into the Eagle bench.
A little mix-up that time. Stacy Bailey made a cut inside, and Morawski threw it back out. Bailey made a good adjustment, stopping and getting turned back out to come that close to it.
And Herman Edwards covering very well. By the way, Herman Edwards is starting his 119th consecutive game at right corner for the Eagles. That's a long time to start every game. We're looking at a Penn State product, Ralph Giacomo in the 2nd year. Cooper back to return for the Eagles. Giacomo has it blocked. It's blocked and goes out of bounds. Ray Ellis came from the left side of the Eagle defense and blocked the punt by Giacomo.
2nd week in a row, the Eagles have come up with a big play on special teams. Wes Hopkins got one. Last week, and check this out, that's Hopkins on the outside, Ellis up the middle, practically untouched, and got the ball practically as Giacomo set it on his foot.
Took it right off the foot. Good special teams play. And Marion Campbell puts another stick of gum in. Philadelphia 0-0 with Atlanta. Last week it was Wes Hopkins, and right behind there is Ellis, the other safety man who just made that block, and back on the bench. And the Eagles are in really good shape here to turn this turnover into a touchdown, the first one of the game. Last game of the season. Some weird games have been played on the last game of the season. Outside quickly, Spagnola breaks the tackle, gets inside the 10 to the 5-yard line, and fumbles the ball in the air. Atlanta's running it back. Let's see who came up with that fumble. It's
Bobby Butler.
Bobby Butler, number 23. Spagnola was on the 5 when he was hit.
Butler was out of position on that too, and it's just sometimes the breaks of the game. He was on a zone that time and rolled up. Spagnola slanted out towards him. The ball was there, and you'll watch this now as Spagnola runs a slant out. It'll be right side of your screen. It'll be Butler, number 23, who comes up, makes contact, but Spagnola runs right through him, breaks the tackle, and now Butler's a thing of the past. And because he is, he's going to be in shape right here. to get that one.
He was almost on the ground, wasn't he?
Yep. After a big hit by number 73.
That's only the 13th fumble the Eagles have lost this year. They're very good at not turning the ball over, but not today. Falcons with a big break.
Was Gary Burley on the hit.
1st and 10 now. Morosky back pumping, going deep. The receiver, Stacey Bailey, was trying to run over Herm Edwards. And Ellis makes the interception there. Let's see if there's a flag down anywhere. Herm Edwards got in the way of Stacey Bailey. And Ellis picked off the ball easily.
Check it right here. Plenty of time now for Morosky. Ellis back in center field. A pump fake right here. Now he starts to read Morosky's eyes and starts leaning this way. You see Edwards go down. Bailey was behind him, but Ray Ellis, perfect job playing center field free safety, comes up with the second big play of this ball game.
In 3 plays, number 24, Ray Ellis has a blocked kick and an interception. That's his 7th interception of the year. What a way to finish out the season of 1984. He's out of Ohio State. 1st and 10. Pisarcik overthrowing Kenny Jackson at the 45-yard line of Atlanta. The tandem of Jackson on one side, the number 1 draft from this season, and Mike Quick on the other is about as good as there is in football.
Jackson, the number 1 draft choice, in a straight up pattern here, and he'll, against the zone, just turns it up, and you'll see that Pisarcik overthrows him to the outside, and that was almost intercepted.
Kenny Jackson runs very hard early and drives right up on the defenders. Of course, his big game was against the Giants when he suffered the shoulder separation, but he's back and healthy now. He's a player. 2nd down 10. Pisarcik faking, going quickly out the flat to Montgomery, behind blocking Wilbur down the sidelines. Montgomery quickly to the 42-yard line of Atlanta. Buddy Curry barely able to tackle him.
Good job that time by Leonard Mitchell, the big right tackle, number 74. You see right there with Wilbert. That was a quick screen. He pulled out, got in front, and got 20 yards downfield, helping out on the block. Leonard,
drafted as a defensive end, number 1, has become a very fine defensive or offensive tackle prospect. Cleveland 27-20 over Houston, a final. Green Bay laid it on Minnesota 38-14. Tough year up there for the new coach, huh? New England 16-10 over Indianapolis. Indianapolis doesn't have a coach. Cushless, they call it out there. 1st and 10. The drive series, Montgomery in a hurry, breaks the tackle and now breaks out in the open at the 20, finally ridden down at the 15-yard line by Bobby Butler.
Well, you knew that Atlanta was up there in a blitz that time. They faked it, pulled out of it, and then came back and went through with the blitz. And you knew that if Wilbur could make a comeback and pop through the line, he was going to pick up some yardage because there were no linebackers pursuing.
Unsportsmanlike call by Ben Dry's crew out there. Might have been
personal foul on a defense, number 37. A blow to the head, 15 yards.
The tackler administered a blow to the head. When you're trying to tackle somebody, it's hard to distinguish between.
See the blitz up the middle, 2 linebackers. That cuts down on the pursuit. Wilbert looking for a little hole right here, finds an alley. Now he's by everybody because all 3 backers are back behind him. That's Bobby Butler, number 23. It'll be Johnson, 37. That applies the shot to the head.
A 27-yard dash by Wilbert Montgomery, who was auditioning for seasons to come in Philadelphia. Had 100 yards plus rushing a week ago against New England. He looks as quick as ever today. 1st and 10. 1st and goal from the 8. Montgomery inside the 5 to the 4. Curry Richardson stopping him there.
Rich said he started a little slow for a couple of reasons. He didn't feel that he had all the help up front that he needed at the start of the year. And plus the fact, he said, have you ever heard of a running back that came back from knee surgery and started out like blazes at the start of the next season? You just kind of got to feel your way, and it's just a natural thing. But he's back now.
That's a young offensive line. In some games there weren't any holes. I think Wilbert even said that once. Against New England, he had 98 against Minnesota. That was early in the year. It's 2nd down and goal from the 5. No score in this ball game yet. Over the top, hit hard at the 3-yard line. Wilbert tried to vault his way in, but you can't wade through all the players. 4:19. 8:38 left, pardon me, in this first quarter. Other scores. The Bears behind Landry at quarterback. 30-13 over Detroit. Detroit's really beat up by now. Tampa Bay 41-21 over the Jets in the final.
That's almost in a way nice to see him win for John McKay in his last game as coach.
And Cincinnati is waiting for Pittsburgh to either win or lose against the Raiders on the coast, 52-14 over Buffalo. Man, Sam Weiss has turned the Bengals around completely. Third down, inside the 2. Montgomery is nailed at the line of scrimmage. And I don't believe he made anything. He may have lost a half a foot. Benish
on the hit in 54, Fulton Kuykendall, who they bring in short yardage situations. He doesn't start, and yet he's still third on the team in solo tackles. Number 54, Kuykendall, the 10-year veteran. They bring him in. There's a lead block by Hubie Oliver. Benish will be down low, and number 54 will come up over the top right here and make that hit that drives Robinson back.
McFadden will be in to try a field goal attempt. Pisarcik is holding right on the 10-yard line, so it's a 20-yard attempt. Well, he has as good a stroke as you've seen in this league for a long, long time. And he's a solid citizen. Watch when he goes over there. The guys will go over and say, nice going, Mac. It's 3-0 Eagles. Marion Campbell watching young Paul McFadden from Youngstown State, the rookie kickoff. Johnson from the 5. Kenny Johnson hit very hard just at the 20-yard line. The Eagles look like they really want to make a good game of it today and get some impetus going into next season. Darby was down under that one.
It was a good hit.
Total offense 91-7. Of course, Falcons really haven't had the ball.
4 offensive plays is all they've had.
A couple of overthrown passes and some strange doings going on. A long interception run back on Morawski. He moves a little bit better in the pocket than Bartkowski. But don't kid yourself. He doesn't have a bazooka on his right shoulder like Steve Bartkowski did. Here's the inside play action. Morawski now hitting Bailey at the 35-yard line. Immediately tackled by Fowles.
And that'll put Stacey Bailey over the 1,000-yard mark for receiving yardage for the year. Came in the game with 998 yards. And that makes him the 3rd Atlanta player to go over 1,000 yards with that catch, number 82, following in the footsteps of Wallace Francis and Alfred Jenkins, 2 guys that looked like bookends around here for years, didn't they?
Stacy's from San Jose, and he actually got his first start against the Eagles a year ago and had 100 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Herman Edwards says he's small, but he gets right up on top of it and he can jump out of the stadium. Those are the dangerous receivers. He did great. 1st and 10 from the 35. Morawski now with a lot of time. Bailey at the 46-yard line. Herman Edwards there.
Morawski with all kinds of time. Good job up front by his offensive line. And so that allowed Bailey to drive Herman Edwards deep and then make his cut towards the sideline. And the ball was there. Bailey, as we said, he's a glider. And he's eating up yardage. Doesn't look like he's moving that fast. A lot like Mike Quick. See him drive him back, stop and make his cut towards the sideline. And good throw by Morawski with plenty of time.
And Edwards, a very smart player, as we say, starting his 119th straight. Might have given the young man a little too much room that time. 1st and 10. Atlanta looks like they're serious on this drive. Here's Riggs getting only his 2nd carry of the afternoon. In and out and then knocked out of bounds at the 40 by Jerry Robinson.
And we mentioned Stacey Bailey going for 1,000 yards this year, but as you see Riggs right there, he needs 160 yards in this game to break William Andrews' club rushing record for a season. He's had a fine year filling in for William Andrews.
Imagine the 2 of them if they've been playing together. Here it is, Washington 29, St. Louis 27, still 1:33 left. That was a 37-yard Mark Mosley field goal. Stay tuned. 2nd down and 5. Atlanta sort of on a roll. Outside Riggs, jabs back inside. He's 230 pounds. Looks like he has the first. Reggie Wilkes, the former Georgia Tech rambling wreck that played his collegiate ball here, made that tackle for the Eagles. This is a good offensive line, and they miss Billy White Shoes Johnson something fierce as their H-back.
Well, especially in the 3rd down situations where they could bring him in and when it would be 3rd down and 3 yards or more and create some confusion in the defense. He is so quick and coming out of the backfield against the linebackers, and they have missed that element.
Riggs is now 18 yards on 3 carries. He's in the single back, and there's the H-man trapping inside. Here's the misdirection. Riggs gets to the 31-yard line. Anthony Griggs making the tackle there. Remember, this Eagle defense has shut down some big ball clubs. They held the St. Louis offense to 200 and some odd yards total offense. 219. They held Washington at 261 total offense. But can they stop Riggs and Atlanta? That's what they've got to do today. He's over that. He's gone over the 1,400 mark. Murawski outside. Alfred Jackson. Crowd beginning to whoop it up a little bit, and there are not many of them. They've got to work very hard today.
For Jackson, who is having the best year of his career, he caught 11 passes here a couple weeks ago against the 49ers in a game that we saw for 193 yards, working against Albert Fowles that time.
Came back last week and had 7 more. He's having quite a time. If they double up on Stacey Bailey, Jackson suddenly finds himself in some good situations. Murawski's 3 of 6 for 43 yards. A little over 4 minutes left in the first. The last game of '84 for the Eagles, but not as Philadelphia Eagles. They'll be back next year in town. The dump across the middle, and Cox drops it. He's done that a couple of times this year. That was on the 19-yard line. And Murawski has to get up. The Eagle rush beginning to get to him.
You know, Dan Henning says that Murawski shows the same judgment that Bartkowski does running his offense, so there hasn't been a drop-off there. He says he moves around a little bit better than Bart, but he doesn't have that arm that you mentioned, so he figures it's kind of a trade-out having him in there. Waiting for the time, and he's getting good protection today because the Eagles have been rushing the passer extremely well this year.
Second in the NFC with 51 sacks they came in, Wayne. You're absolutely right. Only Chicago had more. But so far, they haven't gotten to Mike before he's unloaded the football. Inside trap play by the H-man again. Pulled down from behind is Riggs.
Greg Brown probably. That's his kind of play.
Boy, he does come under things, doesn't he? Greg Brown.
He can move. He's quick. Having his best year with 12 sacks and 115 tackles. That's second on the team, and that's from a defensive end spot, so that means you got a pretty good motor and you're all over that field also.
Remember what Marion Campbell told us yesterday? You said, what technique are they using to get all the sacks? And Marion said hard work.
Yeah, he said they just really don't have a guy that's a real technique pass rusher. He said they get there on their second and third effort, and they've got their 51 times coming into today's game. That's a club record. And strong in the legs. They do a lot of lifting the iron with those thighs so they can keep wading through people. Third down now. And 9. Murawski being hit as he unloads it. And the receiver was hit by Ellis as soon as he tried to catch it. That's Karen. And Ellis knocked the ball away from him. Dennis Harrison this time on a stunt. Coming up the middle. Murawski looks like it's okay right here, but it's not, as Bigfoot hits him right in the numbers. Harrison with 12 sacks also, and once he got past the water in his knees after those first 4 games, and he began to work out on that Ariel computerized workout stuff, he got his strength back, didn't he? Yes, he did. He said he had a bad foot, so he went 2.5 months without much weight training. 7 for 8, the left footer from Southburn, England, a 38-yard attempt. Pretty smooth swing, and it's good. It's all knotted. We have exchanged field goals and unpleasantries, and we've got 3:16 left in the first quarter. For those of you that may have been underground for the past week, the Eagles, it was announced last night and early this morning, have been retained in Philadelphia. Mayor Good and Leonard Toews have compromised, and somehow the Eagles are going to stay in Philadelphia, and they are not playing their last game in a Philadelphia Eagle uniform. They'll be coming home tonight. From the 4-yard line, Waters, who had the 89-yarder against Washington, fumbles. Atlanta may have recovered at the 20-yard line. They did. Johnny Taylor caused it. Boy, did he ever. It's a rookie they just put on last week because of an injury. They cut him in training camp. He was their last cut. A big linebacker, a big rookie out of Hawaii. 6'3", 240 pounds, and he was steamrolling down the field on that kickoff. Waters is still down. Now watch now, Johnny Taylor. is going to come from outside right. As I said, here he comes, 96, right there. Big hit, and the ball is out.
Waters went 89, you might recall, for a touchdown that really beat the Washington Redskins a few weeks ago.
Well, the final in Washington now. Mark Mosley with the field goal, of course, to win it for the Redskins. 29-27. O'Donohue missed the 50-yarder at the end of the ball game for St. Louis. It could have won it for them. So 29-27.
That, of course, the Rams now clinch a wild card berth, and the Cardinals are eliminated. One of the teams that everybody thought might come in as a wild card dark horse team and perhaps even win it. But the Rams are in. They'll play either Dallas or the New York Giants, depending on what happens, of course, on Monday night when Miami plays the Dallas Cowboys. Getting to be a very interesting finish for this 84 season, and it's really just beginning, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a little sidebar in that Washington game. Receiver Art Monk set a new National Football League record for receptions in that one. We're trying to figure out how many total, but he went over the top for the Skins.
Don't forget, on Christmas Day, CBS Sports will have a football basketball doubleheader. First at 12:30, Eastern College All-Stars play in the 47th annual Blue-Gray Football Classic. Then at 3:30 Eastern Time, the NBA on CBS returns. The Sixers of Billy Cunningham against the Detroit Pistons. It'll be Julius Erving against Isaiah Thomas and a lot of other great athletes. But you'll be seeing this on Christmas Day here on CBS Sports.
And I found out that Art Monk at 106. He ends the season with 106 receptions. He breaks a record set by a guy that played for the Houston Oilers in the AFC by the name of Charlie Hennigan. Remember him?
Yep, Charlie Hennigan.
And I think George Blanda was throwing the ball down there.
My gosh, at that time. Playoff bound. We'll just give you a little show of it. San Francisco, of course, the Western Division of the NFC. Chicago won the Central. It's a good thing they did a few weeks ago. Washington has now won this NFC Eastern battle. The Rams, Dallas, or the Giants will be that wild card. And, of course, CBS will be right there with the NFC right on through. It starts right here. Andre Waters, young man from Cheney State University, a school outside of Philadelphia. He's been quite a contributor to this team this year. Otho Davis is helping him off. Doesn't look like he's been hurt completely, so he'll be recovering. He'll have maybe the offseason to do that in. Number 32 recovered. Number 36 is the man we're looking at. 96, the one that caused the fumble.
The big guy, Johnny Taylor.
Oh, he really was a shot. First and 10 going in. Big turnover and a sack by Philadelphia Morosky. That's Kenny Clark. His 9.5 sacks this year might be the highest that a nose tackle I've ever heard of has gotten.
Well, and especially when a guy doesn't play in the passing situations, when they go into their nickel and their prevent type situation, Ken Clark is out of there. He told us earlier in the year that he plays the situation better than he has before, and he cuts loose some now. You know, he doesn't play as tight in there as normal and varies his position, and he's just a matter of getting familiar with what he's doing in there after a couple, 3 years.
A lot of people, including you and I, thought that he might be going to the Pro Bowl game. No such luck. Griggs hit behind the line. Flags are down. Griggs gets inside the 20. Joel Williams making the tackle there, but the flags were down early.
Gerald Riggs, a great running style. I tell you, he's one of those guys that always has one foot on the ground. He's down there low, doesn't give you much of a shot at him. 230 pounds. And when William Andrews went down in training camp, everybody wondered what would happen to the Atlanta running game, and he answered that pretty fast. He went for over 200 yards in the very first game.
False start. Defense was offside. We're going to play it over.
The only thing about Riggs was the fact that he might not have the durability to play 4 quarters, but we've seen him come back in San Francisco, et cetera, and play very well in the fourth quarter.
Dan Henning said that's one of the plus factors of the season, that Gerald Riggs, that there are no question marks now about Gerald Riggs.
Scores from elsewhere. Cincinnati 52, Buffalo 21. Pittsburgh, remember now, must beat the Raiders later on. And right now, Pittsburgh with a field goal have the Raiders 3-0.
But the Raiders would like to win that ball game, because if they would lose it, they would have to go out and play the wild card game in Seattle in that Kingdome, something that teams don't necessarily like to do.
Unless you're from Denver right now.
Yeah.
Denver looked awfully tough, didn't they? Number 15 is Mike Morosky. He is the quarterback. Everybody here's talking about Doug Flutie, but number 15's having to play 1984. On the run, he's going to put it away, and now steps out of bounds as fouls and other Eagles show up. A 3-3 tie, a 38-yard field goal by Luckhurst, a 20-yard field goal by the young kicker for Philadelphia, who's got to be one of the best, Paul McFadden. He is an alternate, by the way, McFadden is, for the Pro Bowl game, which is rather unusual for a rookie kicker.
Just not very many rookie kickers have kicked more field goals in a season than he has. 3, in fact. Ali Haji Sheik and Chester Markole, remember him from the Packers, and
sure.
Raul Allegro.
Oh, I'll never forget him. 2:28 left in the first quarter. But you're absolutely right. He's a solid. We saw him kick 2 of 50 yards or over in the Detroit game, and then get him into overtime. Morosky now hit from behind at the 29-yard line by Greg Brown. And boy, that 4-man Eagle rush line, they are beginning to swarm.
Yeah, that's that second effort pass rush that Marion Campbell was talking about. Morosky right here now, back in the pocket, nothing there. Now he pump fakes, and he's getting some heat from Harrison, so he's going to move up. Now here comes Brown off a block and then tracks him down, and that's the second effort sack.
It will force Luckhurst to try a rather long field goal. He will be setting it up at the 36, so it'll be a 46-yarder. Greg Brown, we saw him earlier in the year. He came in with a brand new pair of ostrich boots on, and he used to weigh 235. Now he weighs 262. A 45-yard attempt facing the Englishman. He's 4 of 8. He's 50% from this distance. 4 of 9. Wide to the right. A long shot, no wind. It is really a beautiful day, and the people that have shown up have seen a lot of action already.
Yeah, it's pretty strange, to play a game like this with not very many people in the stands. And it's a different situation out there for the players when there isn't that deafening roar every once in a while.
Oh, there was a roar going up in Washington. You know how that RFK Stadium rocks and rolls. 29-27. Mosley's field goal of 34 yards puts the Redskins in. Of course, it puts the St. Louis Cardinals out. This means the Rams will wait and watch Monday night and face either Dallas or the other team. Rick Bryan now making the tackle again on Wilbert Montgomery as we go back to action. Looks like he's shaken up a little bit. The first 2 choices taken by Atlanta were Oklahoma defensive players. Young Case, the secondary man, who's sort of a sticker in his own right. They said their biggest adjustment coming to Atlanta was losing football games. At Oklahoma, they didn't get used to that much.
Scott Case said if he was still at Oklahoma, he'd be going the Orange Bowl now.
Back in the day, he can go anyway if he wants to pay his own way down there. 2nd down and 5. Inside drive. Montgomery gets a good block from Oliver and somehow gets near the 40-yard line.
Atlanta plays a little bit different defense than most of the teams around the league do. They stack their linebackers in behind and play their defensive ends pretty wide. Oh, you can pick up 3-4 yards a clip at them if you get them blocked up front, but the linebackers pursue extremely well.
Talking about attendance and factors like that, when people were sort of intimating that the Philadelphia fan hadn't backed the Eagles, I got some material together, and in 25 years the Eagles averaged 60,040 paid and attending. 25 years of football in Philadelphia. Well covered by the fans. The Falcons have recovered another fumble, this one by Montgomery.
Ron Smith, 65, with the ball there. You saw him spike it. It looked like Wilbur just didn't have a handle on this one from the start. Take a look at it from end zone here. Smith is the defensive right end. He'll be at the left of your screen.
It's the 3rd Philadelphia fumble.
Was that going to be a flea flicker? We'll take a look at that again. It looks like Pisarcik is back here kind of expecting the ball, and as Wilbur may have been tossing it back, he lost it. Save that one.
Burley got a lot of penetration and might have cut off the flea flicker. Anyway, the Falcons had the ball at the 39-yard line of Philadelphia. Straight ahead, Riggs. Maybe a couple. Not much. Marion Campbell was the head coach down here in Atlanta in November of 1974 till October of 1976. And Bruni was his assistant down here for quite a few of those years. There's Marion Campbell as the first quarter time runs out. A lot of turnovers for Philadelphia, and Marion Campbell doesn't like that. It's 3-3. County Stadium, but we're having a good time. A 3-all tie. 3 fumbles by Philadelphia. And how about this last one?
Well, we thought conjecture-wise that it might be a flea flicker. Offensive line looks like they're pass blocking a little bit. Looked like Wilbur Staub was going to toss it back here to Pisarcik, and he was getting back in position to receive it. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised that that was a gimmick play that the Eagles had in that just backfired on it.
And right now, Atlanta's on the move. 2nd down and 8 on the 37 of Philadelphia. Inside trap play fake. It's pass action. Morosky with a lot of time. He's got the big tight end over on the right sideline inside the 20. Cliff Benson. Only the 4th reception for the Atlanta Falcons this afternoon. He's the H-back.
He's the H-back or the move back in that single back offense. And he was a rookie. Beat out Bo Robinson, last year's starter in training camp.
Morosky comes into this game with 2 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. And he was sacked 18 times coming in. It's about 10% of every time he goes back to throw, he goes down. He's had a little tough time getting into it. Riggs hit at the 17-yard line by Jerry Robinson. Ron Jaworski injured the fibula and had some ligament repair of the same leg in that ball game that we did in St. Louis. He is rehabbing and he is watching this game, and I saw the other day where he sent down to the locker his best flak jacket for Pisarcik to wear. He said, try it on.
Jaws' flak jacket has a lot of dents in it.
It's got to be a good
some
one,
blows
right?
over you. You betcha. Tough guy and a good guy.
2nd down and 10 on the 18. Inside trap. Well, Riggs cuts it down hard inside there and is still bouncing off people at the 12-yard line. Bigfoot Harrison in on the tackle along with Ray Ellis.
See that one back offense, the move back to H-back. Benson comes in motion and then blocks in over the nose tackle. That's the trap part of it that Tom told you about, and then Riggs right up in behind it.
Okay, you got Riggs at 228 or 30 pounds. You don't get him with a fingernail tackle.
One of the fastest players on the team too at 230 pounds.
Lynn Kane is in there, a very versatile back. Excellent player in this league, number 21. He is the solo back behind Morosky. Morosky going for it, and just off the fingertips of Stacey Bailey. And he almost got control of it while he was up in the air.
Remember, Stacey Bailey told us yesterday when we were talking to him, Tom, that he gets to work the receivers a little bit longer when Morosky's the quarterback because the ball doesn't get there as fast. And I think this time he spent a little bit too much time working Herman Edwards inside. And by the time he messed around with Edwards inside and got back out, he was a little short getting back outside. And I think that messed up the timing on that play.
Good reaction. Edwards had him closely covered on the inside. Might have been working the option to where if he was covered there, he just get a takeoff, they call it.
So that 50% of their pass patterns are read patterns.
Luckhurst from the 20, a 30-yard attempt. Being held by Mike Morosky, the quarterback. And they will fake it. They ran options off of this all day on Saturday. This one's good. 2 out of 3 for Luckhurst. And so with 12:36 left before halftime, it's 6-3 Atlanta. When you only win 3 games, everybody's an expert. I saw a letter to the editor in the morning newspaper here in Atlanta where the guy thought that the Atlanta Falcons symbol was a depressed-looking bird and that it wasn't, it didn't have any pizzazz as the emblem of your team. That the wings were down, it looked like it was crashing rather than soaring to heights.
I think they'd allow the wings up because you can do a lot of spearing with those.
Put the horns right on top. But everybody's involved. They did sell 44,000 season tickets here. Philadelphia, they sold 55,000 season tickets.
You know, I was telling you one time that I played in a game. We were playing the Patriots up in Montreal in a preseason game, and the Canadian people boycotted a game with the backing of the Montreal newspapers because they thought it was an NFL infringement on the CFL. So we were up there, and there were about 150 people in the stands that night, and you'd come out over, you'd be playing defense, and you hear the quarterback go 6-28, and then you'd hear somebody up in the stands yelling, popcorn, hot dogs. It was the weirdest feeling, and some of it is what these guys are getting here today.
The amazing thing is that often the players still play very hard and desperate football, even if there are not very many people in the crowd. Next Saturday, NCAA basketball on CBS Sports returns. UCLA, coached by former Bruin star Walt Hazzard, an old Philadelphian, visits Madison Square Garden to meet the 4th-ranked Redmen of St. John's and Chris Mullin. St. John's could be a legitimate threat to the defending national champion Georgetown. They've got to get it turned around a little bit. They're having their problems right now. But don't forget, NCAA basketball next Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on CBS Sports. Luckhurst, after the successful field goal attempt, kicks off from the 30. Cooper at the 8. Cooper slips down and then gets up scrambling to the 21. No touchdowns so far in this game. Joe Pisarcik.
Well, he said, you know, when you're not in the playoffs and things like that, everybody's anxious to get the season over with. I think I'm the only guy that wants to keep playing. He said, this is really my 4th game of the year. He said, I'd like to keep going.
I asked him about going to Arizona when that was the big story last week, and he said it's a great place to play golf out in Arizona. All you need is a sand wedge. Of course, he grew up at New Mexico State, playing in Las Cruces, New Mexico, where they have a lot of sand around that town. 1st and 10 on the 21-yard line. Eagles trail 6-3 in the second quarter. Pisarcik, good drop, good pass to Montgomery. Montgomery bucks his way out over the 30. Close to a first down. Kuykendall making the tackle and being helped by Kenny Johnson.
Watch Montgomery now. He's just to the left of Pisarcik. He'll check for blitz, none there, and then a little slip flare right here. And then watch Spagnola come over and get a block right here on Kuykendall and get a little piece of him, and that helped out some.
These teams have always battled, especially since Dick Vermeil came to Philadelphia since '76. In all the games they've played, there's only been 4 points. That's the biggest margin when these two teams have tangled since 1976.
You see, in 1980, they were both, what, 12-4?
Yep.
They had a real battle then.
By half of the football, there's our little kryptonite right there.
Yeah.
Wilbert Montgomery at 190 pounds does about as much as you can do in this game. He looks like he's back healthy again. Montgomery has 26 yards on 2 receptions. He's in the eye behind Hubie Oliver. Rockman. First down call. It's play action. Pisarcik going down the middle for Spagnola. Spagnola has it inside the 35. Tackled there by Pridemore. Boy, Joe Pisarcik likes that one. That came off just like he wanted it to.
36 yards. And the play action held some people. Look at Kuykendall up there. Good fake by Wilbert Montgomery, and you can bet that if the safety was peeking in there, it held him a step or two also. Spagnola showing good speed going to the post and caught it in front of Kenny Johnson for a 36-yard gain. 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. The numbers on Pisarcik this season since he's taken over for Ron Jaworski. Boy, he liked that one. It was just what he wanted out of that play action. Long calling out of the eye. Montgomery quickly into a hole, giving that defense no time to adjust. Maybe got 3.5 or 4 yards. Running right at Bryan and Smith. Wilbert said when we talked to him a few weeks ago up in Detroit that he likes to carry the ball a lot in the first half to get a feel of the game, wear down the defense, and then use that to learn how the defense is reacting to certain plays. And then he files all that and takes advantage of it later on.
If you ever get into a nickel defense at the wrong moment, Wilbert will really break a big run. He's that kind of a runner.
Cowboys know that.
Pisarcik is 7 of 8 for 100 yards. 10-13 left before half. Not the last game for the Philadelphia Eagles, just the last one of 1984. Pisarcik back. He's got time. Good drill. This is Oliver inside the 30. He's hit hard by Bobby Butler. Short of the first down. Clock is still running.
That's how he got his name. Oliver got his name, Rockman, catching swing passes out of the backfield. He said when he was with Arizona, I asked him, how'd you get that nickname? And he said, well, I caught a couple swing passes against Michigan and knocked out 2 of their cornerbacks. So the guy started calling me Rockman after that.
Quite a nice kid. He came out of a high school in the Cleveland area and found happiness in Arizona. And now he loves Philadelphia. 1 of 3 on third downs the Eagles are this afternoon. Third down and call it 2. You've got the short yardage group in there. 3 tight ends in there. Montgomery has that more to the 22-yard line. Hustling.
Good job over there by Vito Cab, who came in, tight end behind Spagnuolo.
I saw Kuykendall being interviewed, Wayne, and he said that he is mentally much better a football player than he ever was. He just physically can't do the things that he used to be able to do in the first few years of his career, you know.
Used to call him Captain Crazy around here when he was a special teams captain before he was playing a whole lot. Well, he's got that look that John Madden likes in linebackers with his eyes.
Well, Bill coached him at UCLA. You know, he's really a brilliant guy. He's a very good student. Philosophers. Pasarchik, with all the time he wants, overthrows anybody in the end zone, hits the upright, really the crossbar.
He didn't knock it down. He had some mustard on that one.
That's the only place that Mike Quick couldn't have caught it. He'd have been pinned up against the bar.
Check it here now. That's Bobby Butler. Lets him go over into the post. Nobody back there with him. Kenny Johnson looks like he got caught up a little bit. So Atlanta may have been fortunate.
You have to be very careful defending against Mike Quick. I think the impossible is a reality with him on catches that look like it's no way. That's the one he comes up with. Second down and 10 on the 22. Eagles behind, 6-3. Pasarchik going down for a sack at the 28-yard line. The second sack for Atlanta. Rick Bryan in there.
Bryan back in there right away. It's a big rookie we told you about from Oklahoma. Looked like he just came on a bull rush this time. And that's the end of it right here.
About when I asked he and Case, we talked to the 2 Oklahoma rookies together. I said, are you guys roommates? And Bryan said, I'm married. And so is he. I said, well, I was wondering, since you're on the road, maybe are you roommates? They said, oh, yeah, well, we didn't know what you're talking about. He's a big one, and he's young. Boy, does he like to play football. Third down and 16. On the 28. Quick slant pattern caught at the 19.5-yard line by Kenny Jackson, and our hurry-up approach here by Pasarchik. Clock running with 7:52 left before half.
We caught that on Gerald Small over there, who came into the game. James Britt, who started for the Falcons, banged up a little bit, probably won't be back today. So Gerald Small, the former starter for Miami Dolphins, over there at the right corner now.
Paul McFadden. Looks like he should be in a Little League game, right? This guy's some kicker. A 37-yard attempt. Pasarchik's holding. High snap by Pasella. Let's see if they got it off. No good. A high snap. Looked like the timing was destroyed. And the Falcons still lead 6-3. 7:19 left before half. 6-3. Right out of Central Casting. That's one of the best looking Santa Clauses I've ever seen, huh?
Better than.
That'd be a real beard.
Isn't John Riggins in it? He played Santa Claus on Monday at the White House. But I think he was busy today.
Yeah, I think he's got an aching back, right? It is the holiday season, but these two teams are battling for, I guess, self-respect's the best thing to say. Out to the 24 goes Riggs. By the way, that was Dennard, the offensive center for the Eagles, that made that high snap. Mark Dennard, not Pasella, as I incorrectly gave you. We've got a new quarterback, young Davey Archer, the free agent out of Iowa State. We haven't had any word that Morosky was hurt or anything.
No, I don't think so. They probably want to give him a series or two here in the first half, and if he gets something going, might see him the rest of the way. So like I said, with at the top of the telecast, Atlanta really doesn't have much going today. Doesn't make any difference whether they win or lose the draft position or anything like that, so they can do what they want.
2nd down and 6. Archer, second snap. Inside trap play. Now Riggs takes it outside anyway. Gets them open. It's going to be pretty close to the first down. This town has gone on to a draft Doug Flutie campaign just a little bit. The smallish but extremely exciting Boston College quarterback.
You see that number 87 Benson go in there to trap over the nose tackle again, but Riggs bounces out on his own here. He said that the things he has improved on most this season while getting all this playing time, he was uncertain of the line blocking earlier in the year. He's got that down now, and he even listens to the line calls now, so he knows how they're going to block before the play snap.
A 4-yard average today for Riggs. We got a lot of time left even before half, 6.5 minutes. There goes Bailey through the formation. The toss, strong side run by Riggs. Boy, he rolls over people down to the 34-yard line. Wes Hopkins and Griggs making the tackle. 4 of 10 for 62 yards, 1 interception. Bartkowski has said that he is not sure whether he wants to play any more football after 10 years of injuries and, of course, Pro Bowl years too.
But Dan Henning told us when we talked to him yesterday that he had talked with Bartkowski, and his gut feeling right now is that Bart would be back.
Everybody wants to have Doug Flutie play for him, but I'll tell you, you can't have him on your squad unless he's going to start. He'll run you out of town. Outside goes Riggs. Inside the 35 to the 32. And Eddie LeBaron, the general manager here, executive vice president, he played quarterback, and he's not much taller than Flutie, is he?
Not as tall. He's 5'7", and Flutie is 5'9" ¾ listed.
Cincinnati 52, Buffalo 21.
Well, I wonder where they are right now. Cincinnati, they're
Blue.
Somebody with a disc, so they can watch the Raiders.
Pittsburgh with a narrow 3-0 lead. The Steelers must win to win that division. And of course, there's no wild card coming out of that wild division this year. Just over the 40, and Riggs is almost broken over backward there by 3 Eagles.
I think what's been pointed out already in this game, Tom, and 2 teams that aren't in the playoffs in the last game of the year, and it's been a tough, hard-hitting game already, and I think it really speaks well for the character of all the individuals on both teams right now.
You know, Riggs, when you think about the way he started this year, he could have pouted and had something going. He had 200 and some odd yards rushing his opening game, and we saw him play San Francisco, the Falcons, and lose 14-5. And they had the 49ers hanging about 9 times during the year. They just haven't been able to make any big plays all year. Here's young Archer scrambling, throwing, and missing Stacey Bailey at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a chance on that one. That was a dash, and what you want to do is go out there and kind of at your own leisure, but the Eagles had pressure on him. He was running full speed when he threw that ball.
Okay, you can see that Archer is coming off. Jacamara is in to punt. His first punt was blocked, of course, by Ellis. Ellis took the first quarter very seriously. An interception and a blocked punt in the first 3 plays that he was intimately involved. Jacamara now adjusting his team as the Eagles fake the block. It's an average kick. Cooper at the 25. Cooper at the 27.
Scott Case, well, he can play. That kid's going to be a player in the league. Number 25 down underneath that punt. We talked about him earlier, and people are going to hear a lot from him.
All right, with 4:02 left before halftime, it's 6-3, and the Eagles have the football. We were talking to Joe Pisarcik about the chances yesterday. Of course, we didn't know what the decision was, that Philadelphia would have the Eagles. But Pisarcik said, well, when you move a whole team, your kids have other kids they know, and your wives know other wives. But when you're traded, like he was from the Giants down, you start all over. So they just had to sit back and get ready to play this football game, win, lose, or travel. They trail 6-3. 1st and 10 on the 27. Wilbert Montgomery. Around the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard. a four-man front for Atlanta. They used to play the 35 with a belligerent style that was known around this league.
I'm just shaking my head again at Rick Bryan. The tackle, the kid inside, number 77, got out and made that tackle on the sweep again.
Hard to do that, not get trapped up inside when they run that fake and bring it back inside. Young people are able to adjust. 3.5 minutes left before half. Second down and 10. Pisarcik, the rush is on. He gets it off. Quick has it, steps out of bounds. What a pattern.
Great throw, too.
Butler could simply watch the play, that's all.
Everything right on time. Here's the ISO, Mike Quick. Philadelphia's lone Pro Bowler. Nothing fancy here on the move, but the ball is on the way as he made his break, and it's right where you want it to be, right where only number 82 could get it.
See, he was unable to play against the Dallas Cowboys. Spagnuolo had 11 catches that day, but they would almost let the tight end have a few rather than keeping Quick from being able to catch it. The other receivers, Green and Lofton, with backed up by Mike Quick and Art Monk, who set the NFL record today. That's a pretty good set of receivers. Hate to be playing defense for the AFC against that group. Play action pass, Pisarcik. Ball is knocked away at the 49. Quick had it for a moment. Joe getting up as the rush got to him.
And a pretty good job by Gerald Small over there. As we told you, he was in the ball game for James Britt. Came over here in a trade from Miami. He said he started for the Dolphins. He's maintaining his position pretty well right here, and then makes a good cut, good move to the ball, makes up some ground, and he gets a hand and messes around with Quick a little bit and kept him off the ball.
Remember a year ago when Quick caught that touchdown pass down the middle in the closing moments to beat Atlanta, and a secondary never forgets that when a guy rather humiliates you at home. They're after him today. Second down and 10. 3:12 left before halftime. The blitz is on. It's got him. He fumbles. Flag is down. A flag is down. Atlanta has what looks like a fumble recovery by Kuykendall. And Joe Pisarcik is hurt.
Boy, oh boy, he didn't see it at all. I think it was Thomas Benson. Really not positive who it was. It was a blitz from the outside. And it was on Pisarcik's blind side as he was set up to throw.
He's okay, though. He's walking off, but he was stunned. Did come from the backside.
You bet.
Number 74 on the offense. Decline the penalty. First down.
Leonard Mitchell. Big turnover. 3:03 before halftime. Atlanta trying to increase that lead.
Atlanta has 3 rookies from Oklahoma on their team. We've talked about Rick Bryan and Scott Case, but Joe Pisarcik is going to remember number 53, Thomas Benson, for that blindside hit. Created the fumble, the third turnover by the Eagles. Benson, 235 pounds, 6'2". He was a number 2 draft choice by the Falcons. So they took 3 right off that Sooner team from last year.
Great replay by Dunphy and Dekas, our crew in the truck. You can see the flag go by and everything. It's threatened time by Atlanta. 3:03 going in. This is where they've had some problems in the plus territory. They haven't been there a lot. Archer in and out of the hands of Arthur Cox in the end zone. Archer hit him right in the hands. He's already dropped 1 today. Make it 2.
But it may have been just at the last minute. Jerry Robinson with the leap going by that kind of distracted him. Watch him right here, Robinson. Looked like he banged him around the legs a little bit too, but they're not going to call that. So
why did Cox leave his feet? He didn't have to jump that
didn't
time.
look like it, did it?
There's big Mike Kinn. He's a Pro Bowler that's going from Atlanta. The only player for the Falcons that's going to the Pro Bowl. Archer, the quarterback, back to work on second down and 10 from the 16. He's back to throw again. Quick, straight drop back. Now he gets flushed out. Gets away from Harrison. Throws. It's going to be a touchdown to Cox. I don't see any flag on the ground. A 16-yard touchdown for Arthur Cox.
happy, huh? That's a happy rookie right there. They bring him in, and he hooks up and gets 6, and that was his first National Football League completion. Looking at Morosky there. We were talking about Dave Archer, number 16.
About the first one for a touchdown.
Yeah.
You got to put that in the memory book.
He worked hard for it. He earned it.
Twice. Same receiver. The crowd coming to life. The extra point. Good. The Eagles now with 4 fumbles turned over, and Atlanta has certainly taken advantage of.
Well, this just tells you why the quarterback of the 80s is a quarterback that can move around right here. First back in the pocket and designed to stay there. Nothing there. It starts to break down now, and watch what he does right here. He's turning into Theismann or Joe Montana right now, or maybe Doug Flutie next year. But he's running out of trouble. Barely gets away from Bigfoot Harrison. Now everything changes back in that secondary now. You got to clamp on. The zones are wider. He almost slipped before he threw it. Sets up, gets it back over here, corner of the end zone to the tight end, and it's 6 points. Arthur Cox, number 88.
Like Jody Schultz got a little bit tangled up, had pretty good position. It's 13-3, 2:45 left before half. William Andrews, the peroneal nerve of his knee was injured so badly he barely moved the toes for the first time the other day, and he was hurt back in August. What a player, huh?
With a career in jeopardy right now, too, because they don't know whether he will be able to come back.
Waters, a yard deep in the end zone. Stays on his feet, gets to the 17, and a pile of players, including Benson, hauled him there. That scoring drive. 2 plays, 16 yards. Archer to Cox, a new combination here in Atlanta. For years it was Bartkowski to Francis. And
Bartkowski to Junior Miller.
Junior Miller.
He's the tight end for a while around here that caught a lot in his early year.
He's with New Orleans now.
Right.
He's probably in town today since they finished up. Joe Pisarcik with 2 fumbles. Good numbers on passing. Back to throw again. Pisarcik across the middle, overthrowing, almost intercepted at the 45-yard line by Kenny Johnson, intended for Spagnola. Marion Campbell hates turnovers. Coming in, they had done a very good job. They were second in the NFC on fumbles turned over, but here's what's happened today. Miscue, fumble, fumble, fumble. You can see 2 field goals and a TD, a direct result.
Makes a difference, too, when you fumble and the other team gets it. A lot of times you fumble and get it back. It's not bouncing their way today.
One thing Marion has done is cut down the penalty mistakes and turnover mistakes. That's how this team, while limited, has been able to win some. Second down and 10 on the 18. Pisarcik back. He had a little time, but he got rushed at the end there as Bryan came around and got him, number 77.
Pisarcik's down and hurt again also.
The backup quarterback, of course, is Dean May, a rookie out of Louisville, and Jeff Christensen out of Eastern Illinois, just signed by the Eagles.
Well, you're going to have to see one of them right now because Pisarcik down and obviously in a lot of pain, and it looked like, again, it was up there around the rib area. He took a shot last week and got banged around some in that ball game.
Don't forget the bowl games are coming up right here on CBS. Next Saturday, Maryland and Tennessee will meet in the Sun Bowl. What a place. New Year's Eve, Purdue and Virginia will go at it in the Peach Bowl. That's right here in Atlanta. Of course, the Sun Bowl is in El Paso. And on New Year's Day, it's the Heisman Trophy winner, Doug Flutie, playing his final game for Boston College against the Southwestern Conference champions, Houston, in the Cotton Bowl, all on CBS Sports. Tell you, Flutie is some good athlete.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt at all. There was some talk earlier in the season about Flutie. You know, can he play in the National Football League? Sure he can.
The players are so tall now that it's got to be out of the right kind of an offense. It's got to be out of a sprint, a dash type offense, so that, or a quick drop like San Francisco uses and dumping it to people early. Joe Pisarcik, a lot like Jaworski. He's tough too. He'll be back.
Well, he took one here, as you'll see, setting up in the pocket. Rick Bryan started out at nose tackle and went all the way around outside on Dennard, and then came back and delivered that blow to Pisarcik. Rick Bryan does not quit. Every time that ball's in play, he's going full speed.
Dean May, a 6'5", 220-pounder, a rookie out of Louisville. His first play as an Eagle is in shotgun formation on a natural grass turf with 2.5 minutes left before halftime. He's throwing deep. He's got quick open. He completes it quick at the 49-yard line. Tackled by Bobby Butler. Two young quarterbacks are getting some action today. There's number 82. May is a big kid.
33 yards. Is that his first NFL completion?
I think so.
I don't think he's had an attempt. I think that is it. So we've seen two first there.
He hadn't even practiced a lot yet. It's 13-3 Atlanta.
Dean May back on the sideline now, Brookie. Miami hated to let him go. He was drafted by Miami, number 5, and he was their last preseason cut. He played a little bit for him in preseason and hit on 58% of his passes, but right now he's 1,000, and Pisarcik's back in there for the Eagles.
First NFL pass, he completed it, and Joe Pisarcik's in. It's a pretty good effort, though. That was a good throw. Out of shotgun. 1st and 10 on the 49. Pisarcik now going across the middle, almost picked off. Al Richardson had his hands on it. Pisarcik trying to come down the middle. A lot of people have been working on the corner position covered by Butler this year.
Word on Pisarcik was that it was, as I mentioned, it was around the rib area, bruised sternum. I think that's I think all quarterbacks have that all year, don't they?
That's right.
That's the reason that they wear those flak jackets.
That's the breastplate.
Yeah.
Under 2 minutes. 1:54 in Atlanta. Pisarcik throwing quickly against the rush. Misses everybody, and he goes aimlessly out of bounds, intended for Kenny Jackson. Joe looks just a little bit confused right now.
Well, I tell you, they're coming at him. They know that he's not the most mobile guy in the world, and they've been blitzing a lot more, I think, than their tendency shows. Had it on him that time, and he had to deliver early.
Pisarcik is now 0 for his last 5 attempts. Third down and 10 on the Atlanta 49. The numbers on third down conversions. Quick slant pattern. Tony Woodruff probably should have caught that ball. That would have been enough for a first down.
They were coming after him again. That time a safety blitz. He read it correctly and got it to the right spot.
Moran will come out now to punt, the left footer. Virgil Say will be back, number 41, to accept it inside his 10. This Moran has done some punting job for the Eagles this year. He catches this one. It's going to go into the end zone. Atlanta will have the ball on the 20 with 1:36 left before the half. (13-3). Atlanta with a touchdown pass and 2 field goals. The Eagles with. Don't forget, the NFL today starts it all off. The NFC wildcard game follows. It'll be the Rams against either Dallas or the New York Giants, depending on what happens, of course, Monday night. If Dallas loses to Miami, it'll be the Rams and the Giants. All starts here with the NFL today on CBS Sports. 13-3, but we're not at half yet. Tom Brookshier and Wayne Walker. Dave Archer out of the Big 8, Iowa State, is in there. His first pass, a touchdown pass. Cox, the big tight end. It's 1st and 10 right on the 20 now, coming out. Ball was deflected. Big pass rush by Dennis Harrison. He got part of it. Here's what's happened now to the Atlanta Falcons this year. Andrews, long before the season started, all 16 games. Billy White Shoes Johnson. And boy, he's Mr. Excitement here. He was the turn-on guy. He went down in the 10th game. That was the Rams game that they won. Rady, a linebacker with a neck. Burley, Achilles. Mike Kinn, the big Pro Bowl tackle, he's been out too. Bartkowski, the last 5. It goes on and on. And when your quality people go down, there's William Andrews, certainly a quality person. When your most important people go down, it's just hard to substitute for that in this league. Pass intended for Willie Caron at the 40-yard line, but covered by 3 Eagles. The ball was thrown extremely well by Archer. That was a well-thrown ball.
Yeah, I'll tell you what's really great about that play. Archer showed he's got a pretty good arm, but goodness gracious, look at Joel Williams back there. The 59's back there. I've never seen a linebacker any deeper than that.
And Wes Hopkins cleaned out the receiver to make sure there was no chance. Wes Hopkins is another Eagle player that many people thought should be in the Pro Bowl game, especially Marion Campbell.
Now, especially me, too. And I know you do, too.
I do.
I haven't seen anybody play better football than number 48 all season long.
Last week he made a big interception and blocked a punt when they beat New England, the Eagles team. And sometimes it's hard to get their attention if somebody else has gone to the Pro Bowl for a few years. Here's Cox making another catch at the 39 of a Dave Archer pass. Cox is getting the hang of it now. Looks like Archer's looking for the tight end. The clock, 1:03, 1:02. Quickly now, this is Lynn Kane coming through. Call it the 43, and they'll burn a timeout now. Some people have the cars already packed and the engines running on the last game of the season. It's the way you guys in Detroit used to do it, right?
Oh, you bet.
Scores and highlights, don't forget, at halftime with Brent Nerve. You watch the Atlanta sidelines and have highlights of Washington coming from nowhere sometimes to beat St. Louis. They're a team to be reckoned with. The Redskins have been there a lot recently, and that has a lot to do with playoff football.
And they seem to be on a roll now, playing well at the end of the year. That seems to be what the coaches all strive for. They have them playing good football going in there. Anything can happen. There have been wild card teams get to the Super Bowl and all that sort of thing.
Theismann's even talking to the press again.
That was just a matter of time.
When Joe Theismann wouldn't talk to the press, it's like a bulldog that can't bark. It's very frustrating. 2nd down and 4. Atlanta now would probably be very content to take their 13-3 lead and just go in quietly, because they've had so many things happen, big plays against them this year rather than for them, that they'd rather not risk it. He's going all out, though. Payne ducks under and gets into Eagle territory to the 47. Good thing he ducked. Hopkins was coming. The dash left. Archer moving, tackled. Back at the 43. Good pass rush by Darby and Bigfoot Harrison both. Boy, when Harrison stretches out on the ground, it covers a whole 10 yards, doesn't it?
Greg Brown there.
Greg Brown down there?
Yeah, that's down. Number 98.
There's a guy that is work ethic all the way. Does he come to play football? While we're waiting for Greg Brown to be administered to, and he'll be up very shortly, we hope. Here's the way it is. San Francisco winning the West. Chicago winning the Central. Washington winning the Eastern of the NFC. The Rams will wait for Dallas to either beat Miami and face them, or they'll go against the Giants in that wild card game. All on CBS. Next Sunday it all starts with the NFL Today. That's the wild card game. The Rams, either the Cowboys or the Giants. Giants, of course, lost a game yesterday that they said didn't mean anything. Some system, and it doesn't mean anything. Greg Brown is okay on the sidelines. Struthers is in there. 28 seconds left on the clock.
They just like to, I think they want to be careful, as you said, with 13-3 lead, and a lot of times they had a Bartkowski in there, so I thought, you know, they'd go bombs away a couple times, but I think with the rookie in here right now that they'll play it fairly cautiously and try to get it down, maybe pick up 15, 20 yards and maybe get a field goal attempt.
The Eagles have intercepted a pass in 11 straight games. Now it's 12 straight games, so that secondary can play when they get into that nickel. Good pass to Bailey inside the 40. Bailey on his feet to the 36-yard line. Then he's broken over. Archer now burning another timeout, trying to get in position.
Good for 21 yards and in that area that we talked about. Take a look at it from a secondary standpoint. Now you've seen Stacey Bailey come down against Herman Edwards several times in this game and give him an inside move and then go out. Watch him out here running his pattern. Bottom left of your screen. Gives him an inside move and then just stays there. So in a way he had that set up because he'd done the other thing about 3 times. But Herman playing it smart, had his cushion. Don't get beat for the 6 at this point. And you can stay in the league and play a long time at cornerback if you do that.
Herman told me that he said anytime a new receiver comes down, he tells the guy early in the game, listen, I've seen them all since 77. I've been here every game. Cliff Branch, you can go through all the great receivers, and he said, I've seen them. Here's that AFC situation. Denver winning the West, and emphatically, certainly yesterday. Now Cincinnati or Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's got to beat the Raiders later on today. They're playing right now. Miami, of course, has won the Eastern. And the Raiders in Seattle are going to be that wild card representatives there. And that could be extremely interesting whether they go to Seattle or go to the LA Coliseum. You know, I finished out the season one year with a broken hand, and they put a 7-pound cast on it and just told me to go out and sit with the players. McNally, the general manager, did, and like a fool I did, and I sat down and I had to play. After the 3rd play, my replacement went down with an injury, and the Giants were going to the title game, so they were just trying to play the string out, and I had a cast on my hand, and it was the most fun I ever had playing football. I chased Gifford almost into the men's room, you know. 16 seconds left in this final game of 84. Oh, Archer thrown down hard at the 42-yard line by Darby. 1 timeout left for Atlanta. 4th sack by the Eagle defense.
Brian Darby was one of the young guys that Dennis Harrison said that, you know, we've been helped a lot by these guys being able to come in on 4th down like Darby and take some of the pressure off us. They can't double up on us because we've got other good guys in there in that nickel situation, rushing the passer.
Darby just inhaled the young quarterback. Yep. The offensive line for Atlanta has been having problems at right tackle, where the big fellows over there, Brett Miller, and Dufour's been there too. And Denny Harrison wouldn't exactly tell us much, but he said they're big. That's about all he said.
Well, we asked most of the guys when we talked to who they voted for the Pro Bowl that they played against, and there were some interesting things as you look at Mike Ken, who's Pro Bowl bound, and I think that most everyone who played against him will vote for him. He's about the only guy I've seen that consistently does a good job on Fred Dean.
Denny Harrison mentioned Nelson, the young tackle with the New York Giants, that he thought was a good player.
That was a surprise.
Yeah. Good pass and catch. Not enough for a 1st down, however. Jackson makes a diving catch at the 27-yard line.
No time on the clock, but there's a penalty, so let's see what'll happen here.
Flags are down as Ben Dreith. And I will say this for Ben Dreith's crew, they've allowed the players to play. Very few flags.
Offensive holding number 88. The half is over.
Excellent call as the two teams withdraw to their dressing rooms and then want to come back out fighting for the last half of 84. It's 13-3.
Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Pontiac. Cars built with a feel for the road. Pontiac, we build excitement. AT&T, the more you hear, the better we sound.
And Atlanta leading Philadelphia 13-3. Let's send you back to Atlanta now, and here's Tom Brookshier. Brookie?
Okay, everyone, welcome back to Fulton County Stadium. We have not had an official attendance, and we may not get one today. It's a night game almost by now. I'm Tom Brookshier along with Wayne Walker. The late start, the 4 o'clock start, I don't know why that happened either. But anyway, it's getting dark here and the lights are on, and I don't think the Atlanta Falcons want to lose 10 in a row, as they say, as Bob Uecker would say. They seem to be playing pretty hard, and their young quarterback looks like he's doing a decent job, Archer.
Well, they're taking a lot of chances on defense. As I mentioned earlier, they're blitzing a lot more than they normally do, putting pressure on that way, and so far they've been pretty successful. As I said, Pisarcik, not the most mobile guy back there, and they hurt him a couple times with it. And I think what really Philadelphia has to do, they started out the game, I thought, with a real solid running game with Wilbert Montgomery. He's over 50 yards for the half, but gosh, you got the bulk of those early in the game in the first quarter. I think they kind of got to go back to him.
It's 13-3. We'll look at the touchdown, and then we'll talk a little bit about the Eagles situation as best we know it down here to make sure you're up to date.
Only touchdown of the first half. Davey Archer, the rookie quarterback in there for Atlanta. Mike Morosky was taken out. He just didn't have much going, 4 for 10, and they wanted to take a look at this young guy, and he made something happen here all on his own. Evaded a rush out of the pocket, rolled to the right. Watch him get away from Dennis Harrison there, and now watch him set up to pass, and he almost slips and goes down here before he can release. He's looking downfield. They're trying to stay with receivers. It's not quite working out. Arthur Cox, big tight end, catch it over here. Joel Williams is close, but not close enough. And Arthur Cox turns around and gets on in for the 6 points.
Eddie LeBaron came by, the general manager for the Falcons, and said that he's always liked this young guy, Archer, throwing the ball, and maybe they found something, which means they won't have to either trade up or trade sideways to perhaps get Doug Flutie, you know. Yeah, now, the Eagles have fumbled the ball 4 times, right? And we should also make mention, now, I don't know how you could possibly have missed it, but Mr. Toews, helped out by Mayor Good of Philadelphia, they have decided to keep the Eagles in Philadelphia. There are a lot of arrangements to be worked out as to who's going to pay the freight, the deferred payment for the stadium lease, etc., etc., etc. will be done in this next week, but the team doesn't head on January the 7th to Phoenix, Arizona down there. So that's real good news for Eagle people that have been following this team and been so faithful all these years long.
Well, I think it's good news for you too. I know you're happy about it. Good news for we're both traditionalists. I think the Dodgers ought to be back in Brooklyn.
That's the way we feel. Okay, Tom Brookshier and Wayne Walker, and we'll be back for the second half, and we promise it'll be a doozy. Hang around, wait. Second half, Tom Brookshier and Wayne Walker, and joining us, an injured but an undaunted Billy White Shoes Johnson. Billy, from Widener College, I watched you play your college ball and all. Were you sort of shocked at the thought that the Eagles might be suddenly taken out of that area and put somewhere else?
Not really. I heard rumors of problems before. I don't know why you're laughing, Tom. Wow. But nothing surprises me anymore, especially in the NFL.
But can you imagine that area without their green and white Eagles? You know exactly when you were growing up, huh?
That's a blue-collar place. Having played there before, yourself, you know what kind of people those guys are. They're not going to let them leave without some type of rebuttal, some type of petition to stop them.
Well, Billy, you've always been a class item, and I know you're rehabbing and getting back into it. And this team misses you badly, my friend. Paul McFadden kicking off. Kenny Johnson running it back. Out over the 20 to the 21. Looks like the tempo's picked up. How about young Archer? Is he a pretty good quarterback? Bill, you probably caught a few passes from him.
Dave's a fine quarterback. He's the type of quarterback, something like Flutie, believe it or not. I know personally he's talented, pretty good speed, and he's a real tough kid. He goes about 205, maybe 210 pounds, but he throws a great long ball. It's just a matter of playing time and a lot of experience, and he'll be all right.
We saw some of that Flutie mobility on the touchdown pass he threw because he made something out of nothing on that one.
Oh, yeah, that's typical of Dave Archer. But not only that, he can really run, and he can run over some defensive backs in the league.
21-yard line, you're talking and hearing from Billy White Shoes Johnson. Mr. Comeback of all time in 83 a year ago. 32, out to the 32. Stacey Bailey making the catch.
Once again, we said earlier in the ball game that Stacey Bailey had made inside moves several times on Herman Edwards and taken him back out 2 times in a row now. He's come in and turned inside, continued drifting that way. And it looks like Herman was laying out a little bit outside him that time, perhaps expecting that same move.
Billy, do you like this H movement type formation, the one back hockey?
I love it. I love it. It gives me a great chance to execute in the middle of the field, mostly on the linebacker.
Riggs is pulled down by...
Looked like Kenny Clark. It looked like he may have had a face mask, and it was an inadvertent one, I think.
Got his hand off of it very quickly.
You don't see Riggs come down like that unless there's something like that going on.
Billy, is this a depressing town with the people sort of staying away from the stadium? I mean, do you get any static when you walk along the street or anything?
Not really. I'm telling a lie. I do.
88 on a defense, face mask, 15 yards, and that's a first down.
88 on the defense would be Spagnola, who plays tight end, so he's probably thinking of Greg Brown.
Might be Greg Brown.
But I thought it was Kenny Clark that might have grabbed a handle instead of, but whatever, it was a penalty, and it moves the sticks. Atlanta 13-3, a touchdown pass to Cox from young Dave Archer and 2 field goals by Lecter. Now we got a first down and 10 on the Eagle 46. There's the motion man, inside trap. Riggs is hit behind the line of scrimmage by Kenny Clark.
She was a couple times in the first half. It looked like they were bringing the motion back, the H-back down in on the nose tackle, and then Gerald right away without looking in there was bouncing it out. Did they have that design in there?
Yeah, we do. What happens, the H-back comes back for a bang block, but the Eagles got smart. They noticed that. What they're doing, they're sending that backside down real hard. So what Gerald was trying to do was trying to anticipate their move and break it outside.
Sometimes we even get smart up here.
Well, I'll tell you, Billy might be in this business. He does a good job of it. Sounds great. Second down and 11 on the 47. The lone back is Riggs. He gets the fake. Good pass. Bailey has it down the left sidelines. Bailey's out at the 14-yard line. Good play action fake and a pass by Archer.
That long ball arm that Shoes was talking about. Stacy Bailey, the glider. Herman Edwards up there with him now in a bump and run position. Doesn't get any contact with him. Bailey's off and running, and Herman's not going to stay up with him.
Not too many cornerbacks will.
Yeah.
Here comes Hopkins over to make sure. And does he hit people? Billy, everybody around the league and the receivers, they all know Wes Hopkins. They said coming across the middle, don't be late.
Well, you say that anyway. Anytime you go across the middle, especially with a hitting defense like the Eagles.
First and 10. Atlanta on a roll now. Bailey with a big catch from Archer. Uh-oh, busted play. Archer runs with it. Short of the 10-yard line. He's big enough, as Billy Johnson said, to run over a few people. Don't forget, a 9-game losing streak. A team in 1966 down here lost 9 in a row. But this is the way they've done it this year. And I'll tell you, we've seen them play some good football. Giants, Rams, Pittsburgh 35-10, Washington, New Orleans by 4, Cleveland, Cincinnati, San Francisco, and they moved the ball well in the rain that day. And then finally Tampa Bay, which was pretty embarrassing. Toss back to Riggs, inside the 10, inside the 5. Ooh, boy, to the 2.5-yard line. This team is fired up right now. Hopkins barely got him out of bounds.
Watch the pull by number 62, Brett Miller here, and get a kick out on Ray Ellis, the safety, down by the tight end. There's Ellis down, number 24, and that gets Riggs outside.
Stacy Bailey got a good block downfield. Billy, were you known as a blocker?
A fighter.
I love her, you mean.
Better yet, a chicken fighter at that. So I just try and get in their way, make them keep their hands on me so they can't get a free shot at the running back.
First and goal on the 2. A touchdown here would really make it tough for the Eagles to come all the way back. Riggs coming back. He gets it. Fumbles into the end zone. Atlanta got it there.
Good second effort that time by Gerald Riggs. He was already in the end zone, had broken a point, I'm sure, before the ball came out. Nonetheless, it was still recovered in the end zone by the Falcons. So a good drive here to open things up.
Marion Campbell knows that this is going to be a tough game now to pull out. The Eagles, with that 6-8-1 mark, would like to leave it with a couple of good wins in a row over New England and, of course, over Atlanta. Luckhurst for the extra point try. Riggs has just tied Alfred Jenkins' record of 13 touchdowns in a season. Borowski held. Luckhurst hit it.
Just a second effort right here now. See, is he in? And he is over before the ball comes out. Plenty of good shape. He was over almost as much as White Shoes was last year in that game-ending play against the Niners.
What you mean almost? What you mean almost?
Billy White Shoes Johnson, thank you, my friend. I remember doing a show in Philadelphia, and you hadn't been drafted, and you got a phone call that night. You and Randy Grossman were with me, and both of you had great careers, and I'm very proud.
That's true.
All right, Billy.
Thank you, Tommy.
Thank you so much. Billy White Shoes Johnson, and Atlanta's up 20-3. Riggs came in as the fourth rusher in the NFC, and he could have just had a pretty good half and gotten out of there. But I'll tell you, he went for that touchdown, and the play right before that, like he meant business. He's going to finish out all 16 games. Cooper waiting for him. Cooper at the 5. Cooper gets a pretty good wedge out to the 21. Atlanta has picked it up. The pitch is higher, and you can feel it by even the people that are here in the stands.
Well, what was it their linebacker Buddy Curry said about this one, Broogie?
What's that?
About this is just one of those games where you got to come in and punch the clock, you know?
He said we get paid to play games and try to entertain people. We're going to show up. We're going to play hard. Don't forget, next Sunday, it all starts with the NFL today and the NFC wild card game. Now, the Rams are there. They've got to wait to see what Miami and Dallas do. If Dallas would lose that game, of course, the Giants would go to the Coliseum, or pardon me, to Anaheim. Hard to keep those California franchises straight. Spagnola coming to the 30-yard line. Still on his feet to the 35-yard line. Good run by Spagnola, number 88.
Yeah, Spagnola hasn't gone home early, that's for sure.
Pittsburgh with the one field goal over the Raiders, 3-0. They can't have bad weather, can they, out there? They must be playing on top of the tarp somewhere. In the third quarter, of course, if Pittsburgh wins, they win that division. If they lose, the Bengals of Sam Weish, that have come so far from the other side of the great beyond, will be the conference champion. Pasarchik going for it all. He has an open receiver and overthrows Mike Quick. And Mike Quick was accelerating under the throw. As you can see, Pasarchik slowly getting up.
Watch it right here now. Ball being in the air for a long time, but Quick kind of, look at his stride. Look at him eat up the ground. Now he'll turn it on, balls in the air. This is what they call separating from the defensive back. See that extra gear? He just put it in there then. And the ball's in the air, separating from the defensive back. James Lofton, Quick, those kind of people, they can do it.
Roy Green does it too by coming up. He looks like he's in a very slow gear until he runs alongside of you, and all of a sudden they've eaten it up. Second down and 10, almost, but no cigar this time. Pasarchik, 11 of 20. He's going deep again, this time down the middle for Quick, and he has it somehow at the 22-yard line.
One of the great
Butler
catches.
was right with it.
One of the great catches of the year.
There's a flag down, and Pasarchik is down. And Quick is down, but up.
I think they're going to bring it back. Be a shame for that effort.
There are two flags around the blocking protection that broke down.
Offensive holding number 65.
Still worth a look.
Offensive center Dennard.
Mike Quick went up and made a sensational catch. He made a catch like this in a Detroit game that we did this year. And next time I saw him, I said, it looks like you can get up in the air at full speed. You don't gather yourself to jump. And he said, it might be because I used to be a high jumper. But look at this. on stride. He's up there, and that is just a sensational effort.
Remember, we call it the Julius Erving hang time jump, right? Other people jump as high, they just don't stay up there as long. Pisarcik back now screening out to the side. Just missing Wilbert Montgomery. And Scott Case was lurking right in the middle of that screen developing.
You know, Tom, we talked about, you know, what Philadelphia needed to do, and we felt that if they would come out with their original opening game plan and get the ball on the ground a little bit to Wilbert, open things up for him. But when Atlanta went down and got that touchdown to start the second half, that changed things. They cannot now go to the running game.
Marion Campbell has long forgotten his ties here in Atlanta, and he's from Georgia, of course. He's one of the Georgia Bulldogs all-time linemen, but he's Philadelphia now. And I think Marion believes this is a very important game for the team concept here. Pisarcik throwing and completing. It's going to be very close to a first down at the 46-yard line. It's Kenny Jackson, and that was a leaping grab, too.
Sure was. I looked down for a minute. I thought, well, if anybody had made that kind of catch, it had to be number 82, but it was number 81. It shows you what ability this young guy has and how much they missed him when he was gone. He was just starting to come in on his own when he was injured in a game, separated his shoulder. Gets away from Bobby Butler with an inside move and then a good route to the outside. Mike Quick turns inside. They both do. The linebacker over there to, while the ball's in the air, to try to shake it out of there, but to no avail.
Jackson with that 83-yarder against the Giants for a touchdown in the game that he was injured in. He has 2 catches for 29 yards. The Eagles now are heating up 1st and 10. Pisarcik moving, finding Spagnola. So another first down. Good catch by the tight end. What a year John Spagnola's having.
Well, we're seeing some catches here in a row.
61 catches coming in for the Yaley. Very intelligent, solid guy there that's working to get into the financial business. Don't forget, next Saturday, NCAA basketball on CBS Sports. UCLA, coached by the former Bruins star Walt Hazzard, visits Madison Square Garden to meet the 4th-ranked Redmen of St. John's. And, of course, that means Chris Mullin. All that next Saturday, 1 o'clock Eastern, right here on CBS Sports for NCAA basketball. Love that basketball. Pisarcik. 2nd down and 1, call it. Montgomery loses a yard. There's a flag down at the 44-yard line. Montgomery hit really as he took the handoff by Burley.
Burley and that tough little safety, that rookie again, Scott Case up there, number 25. And we saw when we talked to him yesterday, Tommy, from seeing him play against the 49ers a couple of weeks ago, I was expecting some guy about 200 pounds, kind of like built like Wes Hopkins. He's so darn skinny. Case is that I'm afraid he's going to stick a bone through somebody out there when he hits him.
And he's tried to pick a fight with every big receiver. Remember, he had Dwight Clark up against the wall going to try to punch him around.
I'm not going to let him intimidate me. He says no rookie intimidation because I know that I have to play against those guys twice a year. So I said I'm letting them know early that it's not going to happen.
The first down, offsides marked off, and the sticks are moved for the Eagles again. They trail 20-3, and we've got 10 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. The fake. Quick outside flip to Montgomery, who's got the blocker in front of him and uses it. Montgomery finally walking that tightrope, gets out of bounds. Al Richardson helping number 31 out. Let's see where they mark it down there.
This is a nice throw by Pisarcik here because the back wants this ball in front of him. Quick screen, and it's right on the money out in front where he can see downfield. Look at 74, Leonard Mitchell down there. He'll get a block on the cornerback Bobby Butler that'll help out as Wilbert treads the line. And it finally goes out of bounds. But a good job, a well-conceived play.
Down to the 29. And that's the football play now that's like a handoff. A good quarterback, like you say, leads him right down there. Montgomery took it with a dead run, 1st and 10. Eagles need points. Pisarcik. The blitz is on. Pisarcik's down. Sacked at the 39 by Provence. The 4th sack by Atlanta.
He started some last year. Provence did for the Falcons and was on the NFL All-Rookie team. This year he has been relegated to backup, and a little stun over there, and he came wide open as Ron Baker went outside with his man, and nobody picked up inside. Whether they were zone blocking, area blocking, or man-to-man, you don't know. But somebody blew an assignment there, and it cost Pisarcik.
I noticed that the Falcons have been doing a lot of stunning up front, twisting and ends coming inside, tackles going outside. Sometimes a young line can get confused. Whatever. It's 2nd and 18 of the 37. Atlanta leads by 17. It's that time of the year, folks. Last game of the regular season and the playoffs coming up. As we all get ready for festive moments. I don't know about that logo either. Maybe the guy wrote the letter ends right. He doesn't. Like the Falcon is crashing. Right now they lead 20-3. 2nd down and 19. Pisarcik from the shotgun. Going down the middle and overthrowing number 83, Tony Woodruff. Well, he forced that pass. I don't think Woodruff was ever open.
No, there was nothing there. Gerald Small with good coverage on him. You see it nice right here. Small, as we said, came into the game when starter James Britt was injured. Spent a lot of years in that Miami secondary, and he does an excellent job on coverage right there.
And you know, one thing you might keep in mind with the Eagles, their first 4 games, or 5 games, which they were 1-4, they played the Giants, Dallas, San Francisco, and Washington, you know, in the first month.
Yeah, everybody thought Washington was off to a bad year. They lost their first 2, but it was to Miami and San Francisco.
The Eagle team is young. The safety blitz is on, but he reads it. Montgomery has it inside the 20 to the 15. It fumbles the football. It's a fight at the 4-yard line. Pisarcik unloaded against the safety blitz. Montgomery had it. Let's see what happens. There's a Falcon that's injured on the 7-yard line. Looks like the Eagles retain possession.
That's Butler down, number 23.
If you're the first guy near a football, when they start trying to recover a fumble, it can become very hazardous to your health.
I betcha.
The Swamp Fox looks on. It's 20-3. Bobby Butler walking off under his own power. Zimmerman, the trainer that's been here since '66 when they started the Atlanta Falcons, make sure he got off all right. Now it's 1st and 10 on the 15. Pisarcik back to throw. Down the middle, touchdown off the fingertips of Spagnola. Spagnola at 6'4½" couldn't quite get up. Looked like that ball was there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it was overthrown just a little bit. They're never going to have a better chance. Tommy Pridemore was on the coverage, number 27. He slips and falls, and Spagnola is going to be wide open here. Look at that. Pridemore just now getting up back there, number 27. So it was there.
2nd down and 10 on the 15. Good throw, almost to catch. Pisarcik is now 16 of 27 for 202 yards. But no touchdowns. The blitz is on. Pisarcik gets the ball to Quick. Quick has a touchdown in the corner. Good read by Joe Pisarcik, and the offensive line picked up the blitz. And the result's a touchdown.
Pridemore dodged one bullet on that previous play to Spagnola, but they got him on that one. A good throw by Pisarcik to Mike Quick out here. And again, Pridemore on the coverage. In there for Butler because of the injury. Look at this throw on a wire. Kenny Johnson, your number 37, was not Pridemore.
Mike Quick's 5th reception of the day for 84 yards, and of course a touchdown as he's heading for the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. Paul McFadden heads for the bench. The Eagles are back in it. It's 20-10 in the 3rd. The number 1 draft. He had 10 catches in 82, 69 last year. He's over 1,000 yards in his 3rd season in All-Pro. Kenny Johnson with the run back. Johnson hit hard at the 14-yard line and never made another inch. As Major Everett came down in special teams, and the fur is flying just a bit. There's Mike Quick. Between his freshman year, if you will, or rookie year, and last season and this season, I have never seen a football player come so far so fast. Pittsburgh with a touchdown.
Frank Pollard, a 1-yard run, puts them up 10-0. It came on the very first play of the last quarter.
Chuck Noll, who went to all those Super Bowls, has never been coach of the year. He's done some coaching job this year if they win that division. Archer being sacked. Kenny Clark. Boy, both defensive lines are teeing off on one another.
It was blitz time that time, too, by the Eagles, who very seldom blitz. But Archer showing pretty good poise there. Usually a young quarterback, when he gets that kind of pressure, will try to do too much, and that time he just took it down with it.
Marion Campbell said one of the big improvements that they haven't had the blitz and are among the leaders in sacks. That's 5 for today. Look at those numbers. Everybody having their best year. Of course, the best year for a football player is when your team wins, and that's what everybody really wants. Second down and 13 on the 22. Back to Riggs. Makes the corner, gets bounced out at the 27. Wes Hopkins made contact there. Wes Hopkins has made a career already out of meeting the best runners in football head on. Dickerson,
Riggins,
and
Otis
the man you're
Anderson.
looking at. That's right, Anderson.
They knocked each other out of the game, Anderson and Hopkins, in an earlier game. Both of them came back, but they had to go take a break with canaries flying around their helmets.
That's the only time this is an angry man. He's one of the nicest people to be around I've ever seen, but for 3 hours, you better not come down the middle and try to catch a hog bladder. I mean, he'll lay on you.
He's like a homing pigeon to the ball with linebacker leverage.
Yeah, I like that. Third down and 10 on the 25. 7:39 left in the third. Archer, good protection this time. And a good catch at the 46-yard line by Stacey Bailey. Stacey Bailey just flat went straight up in the air.
It's a big vertical leap that we talked to you about. 42-inch vertical leap by Stacey Bailey right here. I'll tell you, the other 82 on the other side of the field would even be proud of this catch, because the youngster got up in good shape in front of Herman Edwards for that one.
A 20-yarder. Stacey Bailey had his nephew with him at practice yesterday. I was very much impressed with this young man, just sitting there and discussing problems of an outside receiver in today's fast lane. Look at those numbers. 6 for 123. Straight drive. Archer overthrowing everybody at the Eagles 17. Jackson covered by Fowles.
So we mentioned just a couple of players on the field today going to the Pro Bowl. Mike Quick, one. Number 78, Mike Ken, another, the offensive left tackle for the Atlanta Falcons over there, going for the 5th time in his 7-year career.
With those techniques they have now, look at this collection of people. Jacoby at 300. Mike Ken's only about 285. And Keith Fawnhorst, we've watched with San Francisco so much, they're just about as good an offensive tackle as you can have around. Those three, it's quite a trio. Breaks out of the pocket. This is Archer into Eagle territory. And now slides out the 41 with a sneaky move.
Sure was. The total offense leader in the Big 8 last year from Iowa State. Came in a game last week, threw one pass, and it was intercepted. Came back today, and on his first one, threw for a score. First scoring pass of his career.
And Henning's offense is not easy to pick up. You know, there's a lot of movement involved, and you have to know formations in your people like the back of your own hand. He's done a good job today, and they're moving. Atlanta 20-10 in the third here. 6.5 minutes left. Inside move. Riggs decides to take it outside. Now cuts it back.
And the Eagles have adjusted to that play. That's the one we were talking about earlier, where they bring the H-back down on the nose tackle and make it look like that trap inside and hope that the defensive end will close down on it and they can bounce it out, but it hasn't worked since early in the game.
Before coming here, this is his second season, Dan Henning was one of the head assistant coaches for Joe Gibbs at Washington. And That, of course, is the offense you're seeing. Just Washington has had more time to get it all together, and the right equipment's in the right place. This guy's a good offensive coach, too. Second down and 8 on the 40. Archer hands off to Riggs, cuts it back, and now looking for daylight and finds it. There's a flag thrown back at the 41-yard line of Atlanta. Wes Hopkins making contact with number 42 again. It's holding on Atlanta. The best coached Eagle team I ever saw in all that time I've been around there was
Offensive holding number 62.
Was the 1980 team that Vermeil took to the Super Bowl, because I thought it was a bunch of overachievers, and I thought they were about as well coached in about every category as you could be. You know, obviously the most exciting Eagle football team was 1960, right?
I would say so.
And the best team was probably the 49 team with Pritchard and Van Buren and all those Wojciech.
I remember listening to them on radio back in Idaho.
Which, the 60 team? Don't do that to me. You look at a man that was on that team, Marion Campbell. It's 20-10 with 5:46 left in the third. 20-10. Tom Brookshier with Wayne Walker. What championship game was that you listened to? The 49?
It was, because I remember it's the first time that I'd ever heard an NFL game, and of course they probably only had the championship games on back there in the hills in Idaho. And I remember Rupert Tommy Thompson. I remember that name. Yeah.
Tommy Thompson was a great quarterback with the Eagles. Greasy Neal was the coach. I'll be darned. So that's how you got into this life, huh?
May have been.
A second down and 18. The ball's right on the 50. Archer chased. Sacked again back on the 40-yard line. The Eagles got him. Darby got the 6th sack for Philadelphia today, and fights are breaking out. Bigfoot Harrison just
may be gone.
Arthur Cox. Harrison is going to be banished. His last play of the '84 season.
Now he's really going to be gone.
Harrison is out, and maybe in a little bit of trouble. Ben Greif.
I think he was okay originally. I don't think that Dreif was going to send him out until he made the contact with him.
Greif is telling Campbell, and Campbell is telling Harrison to get out. There are times and there are times that when you sack somebody all the way back to their own 40-yard line, that's not the time you need to hit somebody. Lynn Kane will not be back. He sprained a knee. It's been a long year.
Isn't it funny though when you're in scrapes and stuff out there, you're never wrong.
And usually don't think you've ever really touched anybody in your own life.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that the first punch to the face mask got him. I think when he pushed Dreif, I think that's the one that got him over there where he can take off his tape now.
He hit Arthur Cox a pretty good shot, and it's usually the counter puncher that is detected anyway. Well, that was a big sack, too.
68 is out of the ball game. That's 15 yards, and that's a first down.
Take a look at it right here now. Out of the pileup, there's the hit by 68 Harrison. Okay, that's already been made. Now they're going to throw a flag, and I don't think they're going to do much with him until this happens. Now that's a no-no in any league.
Well, the ref's not supposed to push you either.
Well, that's true.
I mean, I'm not trying to take a side on it, but you can say you're gone if you're 6'8" like Denny Harrison. You react, because you're hot and steamed up. First down play. Riggs looking for somewhere to go. Now he's trapped. Here come the Eagles. Look out. This is back at the 46-yard line. This game is going to get a little bit testy right now. Jerry Robinson is having words now with the receiver, Alfred Jackson.
There's a mismatch.
Now look at her. Did you see Herm Edwards come over, the defensive back, trying to settle everybody down? You don't start 119 of them in a row and not know how to get in and out of tight situations.
That's right. Yeah. A little while, Herm will be back out there and lives near Carmel. Pretty nice area in California. And I'll see him on the tennis court somewhere along the line.
Boy, he's a smart football player. Second down and 18 on the 47. And Harrison has been ejected. Straight ahead, Griggs. Right to midfield where most of this Donnybrook started. Darby in there. The Eagles are getting ready for another pass rush. If the young quarterback has a quick pattern, you better call it, because they have circled up the wagons and they're coming after the quarterback. Third down conversions, the Falcons are 4 of 9. And this is a long one, 3rd and 15. The ball is scraped out, and I believe the Eagles have recovered.
There's the darndest things happening in this game.
Struthers made a heck of a pass rush, and I believe it was 93 that got it, and the Eagles did come up with the football. 96 recovered the ball. Harvey Armstrong.
Look what's going on out there now. Now here's the last game of the year, and it doesn't mean anything, and they're tearing after each other.
It does mean something, doesn't it?
Oh, sure, it always does.
You tell people that, they say, come on, don't give me that. They're just going to put in their time today and go home.
Gosh, you remember when we played you down there in that playoff game down in Miami and went in 61 or something like that? And what did we get for that game? It was $600, I think. And I've never seen so many guys carted off in a game.
You killed our team. We won all the twist contests, and you guys won the football game on us. First down and 10.
We were out with you then.
From the 46, Pisarcik. Right off Hubie Oliver's pads at the 45. The bowl games are coming up right here on CBS Sports. Next Saturday, Maryland and Tennessee will meet in the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. And believe me, that's fun. New Year's Eve, Purdue and Virginia will go at it in the Peach Bowl right here in Atlanta. And on New Year's Day, the Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie, the $3 million quarterback they're calling him, will play his final game for Boston College against the Southwest Conference champion Houston, the Cotton Bowl. All of those bowls right here on CBS Sports. 3 minutes, 42 seconds left in the third. The blitz, is it on or off? The blitz is on. Safety blitz, and Pisarcik is down at the 47 of Philadelphia. Richardson was first.
Atlanta gambling, taking a lot of chances on defense here in this ball game. Most of them been paying off. Blitz up the middle, and then Richardson comes from right of your screen. Pisarcik sees him, no blind side this time, but he still has to go down.
Surprised nobody's been running the quick draw once in a while just to straighten out some of these blitzers. Just trap them in the hole and run by them sometimes.
Well, you pop one of those with a guy like Wilbert, and it's going to be about 40 yards before somebody lays a hand on the downfield.
Look at that, 7-5 in sacks. That's what the score was almost for a half. It's 20-10 right now, Atlanta. Pisarcik being chased. Ball's at the 41. Bryan was close, and Smith.
That time it was just a good job of coverage downfield by the Atlanta secondary. Pisarcik had time originally. Don Smith, number 65, came in first from the outside and kind of flushed Pisarcik up in the pocket. And then 77, Rick Bryan again.
Good defensive series by the Falcons. They did it when they had to, even after the turnover. Here's Horan now with his punt. Virgil Say back to catch. Oh, this is a tremendous kick. Say fair catching at the 13. There are scraps on all sides right now on just about every play. A 47-yard punt, no return. Don't forget, it all starts next Sunday with the NFL Today with Brent Nerve and Jimmy the Greek back in New York, and then the NFC wild card game. The Los Angeles Rams, the Anaheim Rams, whatever, they're going to be in it against either Dallas or the New York Giants, so check your local listings. And Eric Dickerson is a piece of work. We saw the only team that really did a job on him was we did the Los Angeles Rams San Francisco 49er game, and
held him to 38 yards, I think, in that one.
on 13 carries.
Said they did a job on him last week, and it was 98 yards that time. Hold somebody 98, he's good.
Handoff. Riggs comes out to over the 15-yard line. There were 44,719 tickets sold for today's game. The attendance, 15,582. No shows. Well, you can do the mathematics yourself. The Eagles this year, on what would be an off year in some areas, averaged 64,000 tickets sold for Vet Stadium. It's the reason they're not leaving town. Second down and 8 on the 16. Gerald Riggs. Here's one of the most expensive properties in football, working all 4 quarters in the last game of the season to win number 4.
Yeah, I don't think that this Atlanta team wants to carry that stigma of setting a record for consecutive losses for this franchise. Henning says we'll try to win at all costs, but he said, but sometimes the cost is too high and you don't have enough in your wallet. And I think what he's talking about in his wallet is not William Andrews and White Shoes Johnson and Steve Bartkowski.
Point well taken. 3rd and 5 on the 19. Riggs is in the pass pattern. Archer going for Riggs at the 30-yard line. He gets to the 40. Jerry Robinson was trailing him, trying to cover him.
Yeah, you called it. He was out of the backfield immediately, Brookie, and a great move on Jerry Robinson. As Dan Henning said, there are no question marks now about Gerald Riggs. Don't know whether you get to see it, but he put on about 4 or 5 head fakes on Robinson and took the outside, and initially was open by about 3 steps.
And Jerry Robinson really has halfback speed, you know. He's just a big defensive back playing linebacker. But Riggs, of course, has 4.45 speed at 225 pounds or so. Archer is 9 of 15 for 173 yards. Looks like he can play a little bit. Handoff to Riggs, who bellies outside right away. Gets a block from Bailey and picks up yardage. Uh-oh, flag is thrown at the 47-yard line of Atlanta. Herm Edwards hung on to him at that point. Let's see what the call is by Ben Dreif. Cruz officiating this game like it's a breakout at Devil's Island.
Personal foul number 48 on the defense, a blow to the head. That's 15 yards, and that's a first down.
Marion's he's just not going to like this, because he likes that defense of his to be poised, under control. He lost one guy, Harrison, by punching and shoving, and this is just not smart football. It's aggressive football. And watch Hawkins be in there second. Yeah. They'll just say, well, remember me next year.
The call was on Wes Hopkins. Herman Edwards had Riggs around the throat. That's all right. 1st and 10. The Eagles want to win it. Boy, Atlanta wants it badly. They've lost 9 in a row. Archer. Oh, he's got all day. Now he jogs. Now he dives at the 32. Kenny Clark on top, along with Jerry Robinson. A pretty calm little character, though.
Yeah, he is. He wanted to go deep that time, wanted to get it all. They sent both wide receivers down deep, and Elbert Fowles and Herman Edwards in good shape on both of them. He really had nowhere to go.
Closing seconds. That was the last play of the 3rd quarter. The score, 20-10. We now pause for a word from your local station. So this is Georgia Clay country. We're at the ballpark in Fulton County Stadium, and that person does not have a disguise on, which might come as a shock to you. Only about 15,000 showed up. It's a pretty good game. 2nd down. And 4 out of the pocket comes Arthur Cox with it. Archer just slipped it to him. Pittsburgh hanging in there trying to win that AFC Central. 13-0. A field goal by Gary Anderson of 37 yards. And I'm trying to figure out where the Raiders went.
So say they're probably on the beach. They looked at Seattle and playing against Denver, and perhaps thought Seattle doesn't look like they're on a roll right now. But you never know about the Raiders.
Atlanta could really put a nail if they get a touchdown. It's 20-10 right now. 1st and 10, opening seconds of the 4th quarter. They're driving deep. Young Archer from Iowa State took over from Morosky. And he's on his feet still. Now he's going to run with it. He's got some running room inside the 15 to the 13.
An exciting young player. Well, a couple of great plays here in a row. That pass that he completed, coming out, running out, and completed it off the wrong foot the play before. And in this one, this is just really very demoralizing to a defense. You go back, you have everyone covered here. You're doing a good job downfield. You're maybe not getting all the pressure you want, but you get enough right here to make him scramble back a little bit further. But what happens? You lose containment. He gets outside. He's looking down, directing traffic, and then says, the heck with it, I'm keeping it. And he's got to learn how to do that feet first slide, or he's going to get his bell rung a little bit trying to creep in this way.
Boy, the
almost got it there.
The offensive line
Briggs
really did a job protecting him that time, didn't they? Mike Finn and Peelman and all of them. Van Note. He had a lot of time, but no pressure. Inside move by Riggs on 1st and 10. Now he's backed up. Back at the 15 when finally dropped by Herman Edwards. Stadium holds over 60,000, built back in the 66 season. Broke ground here in 64. Norm Van Brocklin had this team at 9-5 one year when they won the NFC West. And boy, they had some wild defenses in those days. Claude Humphrey, John Zuick, Tommy Nova, 2nd down and 12. Great handoff. Ooh, Riggs piles it inside the 10-yard line. He hesitates a little bit, and then he really lugs it in there, doesn't he?
Does he? Keeps squared up with the line, and he's very, very low when he runs. No target to hit.
Scores from other games. Mosley's field goal late won at 29-27, and O'Donohue missed a 50-yarder at the gun. Detroit losing to Chicago 30-13. The Bears and, of course, the Redskins win their divisions. Chicago won it a few weeks ago. Green Bay laying it on Minnesota.
They've had a good second half of the season, the Packers have.
New England, under Raymond Berry, did pretty well this year, 16-10 over Indianapolis. Coachless, and Cush went back to the desert. Gerald Riggs straight ahead. People don't want this.
Well, you're just setting up the field goal attempt.
But you're in the middle of the field these days anyway with the hash marks being in there. You might as well try something else. Cleveland 27, Houston 20. So 52-21. This puts the pressure, of course, on Pittsburgh. They have to beat those Raiders that they now lead 13-0. They do. They go into the hat for the shot to try to go to Palo Alto for the Super Bowl in January. 27-yard field goal attempt by Luckers. Morosky is still holding. He was the quarterback replaced by Archer. Smooth and stroked. Ben Dry said it was good. It's a 13-point margin with 10:47 left. That field goal may have taken this game out of the overtime possibility. Cooper is back to receive Luckhurst's kickoff. No, this is going to be Major Everett. 5 yards deep in the end zone, and he touches it down. A lot of time left, 10:41. And of course, one of the great kickers in the game, the young man for the Eagles, McFadden. So anything can happen. Don't forget those playoffs. San Francisco, they only won 15 of 16 games, and they lost that one to Pittsburgh, by the way, by missing a field goal by Werging at a pretty close range for them. Chicago, Washington are in. The Rams are waiting for Monday night, where they'll either end up playing either Dallas if Dallas beats Miami, or they'll take on the New York Giants. I would imagine they'd rather play the Giants. First down and 10 on the 20. Pisarcik only left for one play. Tackle as he tries to come out of the pocket. The Falcon rush was on. Burley was in there to tackle Joe. They're not supposed to be a sack group, are they?
They haven't been. That was one of the things that they were way down in. They had improved their defense this season. Dan Henning said that was one of the positive things that have come about from this season, is the fact that the defense has played better as a group, but really did not pressure the quarterback much at all. Gary Burley, that was his 4th sack of the year. He was second on the team. Mike Pitts, who was out, led with 5.5. Don Smith had 5.5 coming into the ball. Those were team leaders.
It's second down and 12, a loss of 2. Being chased out, dumps it. Hubie Oliver at the 50 to the 20-yard line with his head down. Burley making another tackle.
Well, you know, it's funny how much a win means to you. You get a team like Atlanta whose losses now, and they're getting down to the end of the ball game. 9-something left, and they can smell a win. I mean, they'll be able to grin in that locker room for the first time in how many weeks. They go for their season-ending meeting, and Henny's, you know, is going to be looking at them okay, you know.
That's right.
I mean, it's just one win will just turn a whole lot of things around as far as how you feel and how people feel about you.
If you lose it, you don't even clean out your locker. Third down and 10 on the 20-yard line. Shotgun. Pisarcik quickly across the middle. Woodruff has it. Woodruff has it at the 32-yard line. Is it enough for a first down? And now a little bit of a fracas breaks out.
Kenny Jackson and Scott Kid Case again. I think what they ought to do is take Wes Hopkins, Scott Case, and put them in a padded room and see what happens.
You know, Paterno's comment about the Penn State coach about Kenny Jackson, I thought was great, that if you don't throw the ball to Jackson, he doesn't pout.
Yeah.
And you know how some great All-American receivers, if they don't catch 15 a game, they feel like that they're on the wrong wavelength. And Kenny Jackson is a solid citizen.
Paterno also said when he leaves, I might leave with him.
That's right. First down and 10. On the 33, crowd is whooping it up. A lot of time. Pisarcik. Great catch by Vito Cab, another Penn Stater. Down at the 40-yard line. Joe doing a hurry up. Little over 8 minutes left.
Obviously in his zone here. You can take a look at the secondary. See those 3 linebackers stacked up there by the line in close. Now watch the secondary here. It looks like they're playing deep zone, outside coverage. The middle's open. 2 deep zones favoring the outside. And Vito Cab and Pisarcik made a read and connected over the middle.
Vito Cab, the other day I wore an old Eagle jacket down to practice, and he went by me and said, "How old is that thing?" I said, "Well, I'm not going to tell you how old, but it's pretty old."
I'll be older than him.
That's right. First down and 10. On the 41-yard line. Now Smith and company jump across like they've been pulled off sides. Did Maraldi move?
Start offense number 64.
Young Dean Maraldi, the left tackle. Offensive tackle, you have a lot to learn in this league before you know everybody's moves. People like Randy White and those people can teach you. It's just painful. Penalties about even, 5 and 4. Eagles are playing a man short, however. First down and 15 on the 46. Pisarcik faking the draw. Now the flat to Montgomery. Wilbert Montgomery inside the 40 to the 36-yard line. And that was a good tackle by Kuykendall, or Wilbert might have gone down the sidelines.
Yeah, that's that same quick screen that they've run now for the 3rd time with Leonard Mitchell out in front along with Ron Baker. They both got out in good shape in front of Wilbert. Kuykendall, as we mentioned, a kind of a Clark Kent guy, one of the most intelligent players that Dick Vermeil said that he had coached at UCLA.
By the way, don't forget, since '76, when Vermeil came in, these teams have decided every game by 4 points or less. Pisarcik outside, open, quick, and almost looking for more territory. He is so dangerous. At the 26-yard line, he stepped out. Pisarcik hurrying them now.
I tell you, it looks like he's over that tendonitis that he had several weeks ago. He said that he would have a problem in the second half. He'd be okay in the first half, and then during halftime it would tighten up on him. And He had to sit out one second half in a ball game this year, and he said that was hampering him quite a bit. But it looks like he's back now. He certainly hasn't slowed down in this second.
And with Kenny Jackson in now, you can once in a while get some decent coverage on number 82, Mike Quick. Quick is 6 for 95 today. Pisarcik out in the flat. Oh, a hard catch. A hard attempt by Montgomery in the flat, because Joe had to really load it up, and I think he wanted to go for Jackson deep. Province in his face. Joe had to throw the hard slider. Had a couple of great years with the Giants. He throws the long ball as well as a lot of quarterbacks with big reputations. Maybe better than a lot of them. Second down and 10 on the 25. The blitz is on. The linebackers are coming. Almost intercepted and taken in by Kenny Johnson. Oh, Mike Quick was waiting, but the ball never got there.
Well, it was a lot of pressure by Atlanta. They didn't get to Pisarcik, but they got a good push back there, and he had to kind of lean back when he released here. Didn't have a lot on it. They're back there on him. Had to throw through kind of a hole in between arms, and he was lucky that didn't turn into 6 points for Atlanta, because Johnson was on the run full speed. Johnson coming off a man now.
Good drive.
His hands.
Heading for the other end zone. No way. Third down and 10 on the 25. And time is called. I'll tell you, 15,000 people are making a lot of noise. 7:17 on the clock. It's 23-10. Falcon fans are getting nervous. Well, you can really spot a guy that's breaking the law today. Third down and 10 on the 25. A lot of noise. Pisarcik in the shotgun. Throw and knocked away at the 10-yard line from Tony Woodruff by Gerald Small.
He's played a good game since coming in at cornerback for James Britt, who was hurt early. They've tried him 4 or 5 times over there, and he's been up to the task every time. Faked the blitz, didn't come. Just a regular rush, a little stunt in front. Plenty of time for Pisarcik, and easy for him to see. And Gerald Small right there in good shape.
Pisarcik 21 of 37 for 279. And the 1 touchdown to Mike Quick. Fourth down and 10 on the 25. 7:11 on the clock. Corner pattern knocked away from Woodruff by Gerald Small.
Close. Oh, it was close.
He had 3 wide receivers in there, Jackson, Quick, and Woodruff. 7:05 on the clock. Atlanta gets the ball. They lead 23-10. Gerald Small, 2 big plays in a row. The last one on 4th down near the end zone. So now Atlanta has the ball with 7:05 on the clock. Archer being chased. Comley gets dumped at the 22.5-yard line.
Going to take a sack there, too.
The 8th sack. Of course, Bartkowski had a lot of them, too, because the new philosophy, as we watch Marion Campbell and Fred Bruni, defensive coaches extraordinaire. But the Atlanta philosophy is to take the sack rather than throwing the interception. Club record is tied for most sacks in the game. He had a dubious record. Second down and 12. 6:41 on the clock. Ball's on the 22. Here comes Briggs. Gets it underway, and Ellis and he tangle and go out of bounds. There's a flag down at the 20. Looks like Ellis might be hurt. Is he down on the field? Ray Ellis.
Someone is down. Yes, it is.
Boy, what a first quarter he had. A blocked punt and an intercepted pass. Ray ran into Riggs, and Bill Friel, my spotter, tells me it looked like he was out of balance a little bit, like he just had to take him on when he was being blocked. And this man is tough.
Yeah, you want to. The best you can do when you take on number 42 is be ready for it. I know there was a couple down markers over there in the area where they went out of bounds too. Perhaps he got tangled up or hit on one of those. We'll take a better look here. Here's the bounce out by Riggs. Ellis, number 24, fighting off a block.
By Mike Kinn, the big tackle.
He did a good job of getting the sticks down, so that wasn't the case. But just the jar probably of bouncing off that turf out there did it. But he's okay.
I don't know if he was the one being held or not. The flag was thrown in the blocking area. Ellis has had some fine season. He and Wes Hopkins are two good safeties.
Well, you know,
safeties.
We'll take a look again now. That's Mike Kinn out there, who is probably one of the most least penalized offensive lineman in the NFL, and he didn't get away with that little sneaky hold up under the armpit.
Ellis is okay, and Otho Davis and Coach DeStefano having undertow at the Eagles bench. Right now, Archer has the ball on 3rd down. It's going to bring up a punt. Greg Brown came around the horn and got the 9th sack for Philadelphia today. We've got to look and see if that's a record.
Take a peek and see over here now. It's on the right side working against Mike Kinn. 78 is Kinn. Now he's in good shape now, but he loses where the quarterback is, and then it's Brown who falls back inside. You can't blame that on the offensive tackle. That was a half scramble by the quarterback, and he wasn't where Kinn expected him to be.
Giacomaro gets a good Atlanta roll with his punt, and Cooper takes it out of bounds, and the Eagles will have another chance with 6:05 left. Don't forget, the wild card next Sunday all starts with the NFL Today with Brent and Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek back in the studio. Then the wild card game, the Rams. And of course, the Rams and Johnny Robinson, Dickerson, all of them will be watching to see if Miami beats Dallas. Then it'll be the Giants. If Dallas beats Miami, it'll be the Dallas Cowboys. Check your local listings, but you know where it is. It's here on CBS. Pittsburgh 13-7 now with some time left in that game.
Plunkett threw a touchdown pass to Okie Williams to bring him back 13-7.
They still could win that game 14-13. The rush is on. Pisarcik gets it to Hubie Oliver at the Eagle 40, and he skips across to the 42-yard line.
Atlanta now playing a little bit loose. You see the linebackers, they're lined up about 4 or 5 yards deep now and giving this thing in front, and then hope to come up and make the hit right away. But pretty good running that time by Oliver. Picked up 9.
The 2nd down and 1 long yard, and Pisarcik is sacked back at the 33-yard line by Rick Bryan. The Falcons' 8th sack.
You know, Rick Bryan had not had many sacks coming into today's game. We talked about the rookie. He only had 1.5, but since they moved him out, he's been playing a lot of defensive end in pass situation. He's getting a lot more out there. They may have found him a real pass rusher from the outside in this ball.
He said inside it gets congested. That's the understatement. 3rd down and 12. Pisarcik going outside and overthrowing Wilbert Montgomery on the outside. Pisarcik rushing his throws, and understandably so, because the big red wave has come around him several times today.
According to our unofficial stats up here, Brookie, the Philadelphia Eagles have not had one running play in the second half. They've thrown every down.
Once in a while, that quick trap that we've seen San Francisco use with Tyler.
Quick draw, yeah.
Quick draw, I mean. That would really once in a while split, especially a 4-man rush. 4th down and 12 on the 33. Pisarcik having the ball knocked away from number 86. Greg Garrity running the deep sidelines, and no good. Another Penn State product.
Just got word that still 13-7 Steelers against the Raiders, and the Steelers have the ball with a minute left, so it's getting out of the end of that one.
23-10. Atlanta with the lead, and Atlanta with the ball. You people will see the great 60-minute show in its entirety following this football game. So hang with us right here on CBS right now, okay? Quick Archer pass in the flat to Bailey. Bailey hit hard and spun around to 30-yard line. The Eagles are staying in Philadelphia. An announcement was made last night by the mayor, and Leonard Toews was on with Brent Musburger early this morning explaining that he would have complete control. And while we don't always agree with the way he's handled his money, I remember when he gave the city $75,000 that nobody knew about to keep the athletic program going when they were going broke back in, I think it was 71, and $2 million to the Children's Hospital in behalf of this Eagle team. So you give and take a little bit, but this city, Philadelphia, deserves to have a football team, and they want the Eagles. Second down and 7. Riggs still in there badly, gets inside the 30 to the 28. Jody Schultz, the body snatcher, in at linebacker, making that tackle. How many times has Riggs carried the ball? What a horse. We'll get the numbers on that.
29 times, 29 carries for 84 yards. That's a new single season record for attempts by him. He only needed 10. He's blown by that. As I said, he needed 160 coming into the game, yards, to surpass William Andrews' season record.
He's got 85 yards. He's only averaging 2.9, but he's a heck of a good guy to have once in a while on first or second down to make sure you got him done. It's third down and 4 now on the 27. The dash out. Archer gets it to Bailey at the 20-yard line. Bailey inside the 15.
Smart move by Bailey, who was headed for the sideline when he caught the ball, but to stop and collect himself and get back in and keep that clock going. Philadelphia has one timeout. Stacey Bailey, you're looking at a youngster right here in his third year who is fast, taking his place as one of the premier receivers in this league.
And you know, when that quarterback sprints out and gets the ball up, it's almost like the old single wing option pass play. What are you going to do if you're a cornerback?
Well, it's good when you have a young quarterback in there like they do now to roll him out, and they get cuts a lot of things down for him. Just gives him one side of the field to worry about and one side of the field to look at in regards to defenses.
First down and 10. Henning's team just wants to keep the ball and get the game. Riggs, as the flags fall, inside that 10-yard line.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 32.
Number 32 illegally moving. That's Terrell, Tim Terrell. Tonight on CBS, it's always a great lineup. Don't forget 60 Minutes. You'll see that in its entirety. Murder, She Wrote, The Jeffersons, Alice, and Trapper John M.D.
Every football player's favorite.
That's right. Arthroscopic surgery has changed a lot, but it's not the panacea for all knees. They're still bad knees, and William Andrews, that played for this team, has one of the worst. We hope he recovers and is full speed. I know he signed a good contract, and I hope that baby is ironclad. First down and 15 on the 20-yard line. Riggs. Eagles are jamming it up. This would be the biggest margin in this series in the last few games, including playoffs. You know, there have only been 4 head coaches of the Eagles that have winning records through all these 51 years. Greasy Neal was one of them, of course, the great champion coach. Jim Trimble, a fellow that I played for a couple of times, had a winning record. Buck Shaw, who took us to the championship in 3 years, and Dick Vermeil. It took Dick like the third year before they broke over 500. And that's what Marion Campbell is hitting for. A real good program into the playoffs. Final score, Pittsburgh beats the Raiders 13-7. And so the Pittsburgh Steelers win the AFC Central title, even though Cincinnati did a heck of a job trying to get close and won big today. Denver, Pittsburgh, Miami, the Raiders, the wild card, Seattle wild card, and we're all ready for playoffs. Well, we've had some good season, haven't we?
Yeah, congratulations to the Steelers, too, because going into today's action, you had to feel that Cincinnati had the driver's seat. And that one, they were playing up in Buffalo, and Pittsburgh had to play the Raiders. They pulled it out.
The Eagles are out of timeout. There's Billy White Shoes Johnson.
He's got some energy, doesn't he, all the time?
He's going to rehab and try to get back and play some football, as he told us. But they missed him probably more on third down than anything, because Bartkowski would always read the defense by how they reacted to the man they put in motion, which was Billy Johnson. Second down and 13 on the 18th. 2.5 minutes left. Archer putting it away, ducking, and now diving to the 17-yard line.
Saved himself, I think, with a real reflex move right here. Nothing there, so he pulls it down. Now watch this little job right here. Ken Clark over the top, going for a clothesline, and Archer with pretty good peripheral vision might have saved himself a dentist bill.
Byron Darby, number 94 for the Eagles, was after him. Send a contribution to your local orthodontist, right? It's 23-10 Atlanta. As we said, the last 10 games after that 1-4 start, the Eagles have played very well. And of course, they've been, I think, outmatched and outmuscled in a lot of areas, but they've learned that they can play very good defense. Jaworski's got those 2 young receivers now. Montgomery looks like he's completely healthy again. Pretty much says it. Now Eagles are Philly. We did not make that sign. Third down and 12 on the 17. Inside move. Riggs doesn't get much. Maybe a yard. Byron Darby was under the pile. And Hopkins is always up there looking for something to do. This team went in, the Eagles did, and teed it up with the Miami Dolphins and rushed for 177 yards and lose on a blocked extra point by a point. And everybody at that time said, uh-oh, Miami isn't super after all. But the thing was, the Eagles really had a good game plan that day. Look at this. Second half, no rushing yardage for the Eagles.
No rushes.
Falcons have 77. And Luckhurst is trying a field goal from a 35-yarder. Mike Morosky, the starting quarterback, and hold it. It is. 26-10. Married to the former lady professional golfer, the Moody girl.
Yeah, he's a pretty good guy in the community around here too. Luckhurst is pretty active.
Terry Moody. Terry Moody Luckhurst is now her name.
Okay.
26-10 is the score right now. Don't forget the bowl games are coming right here on CBS. It's Maryland and Tennessee from El Paso in the Sun Bowl. And New Year's Eve, Purdue and Virginia will go at it in the Peach Bowl. New Year's Day, you don't want to miss that. Doug Flutie will play his final game for Boston College against Houston in the Cotton Bowl. That's all on CBS Sports. Doug Flutie. He and his agent will be very busy. I think he's going to win the Maxwell Award probably in Philadelphia. He would have to be the leading man, I would think. He's won the Heisman. And he says all the right things. Don't forget 60 minutes in this entirety following this football game. Funny kick, allowed to get into the end zone. You got to touch it down. That's Cooper. He does. Wild and woolly afternoon. A late start, which was unusual. We didn't make that sign either. Signs are put up by the people that just come in here with their sheets or whatever they do and make the signs. But we are really in a night game at this time at 7:15 in the evening. The Eagles are going to end up. Final record will be 6-9-1. Falcons will go 4-12. Sargent out of the shotgun, throwing, and ball and player are separated at the 45-yard line. Tommy Pridemore had a chance. Eagle receiver was number 86, I believe. I think that was Garrity again going up the sidelines.
I think it's, you know, right now with both teams looking forward to next year, which they can right now in this situation. We talked to Marion Campbell about what he would draft if he had a chance. And he told us that he'd like to get one of the top 2 or 3 offensive linemen.
Before, decline a penalty, and it's 2nd down.
Or one of the top 2 or 3 defensive linemen in the country. It wouldn't make any difference which side. He said there's not that very many of them out there. But if they could go for that kind of player, that's who they would draft. Dan Henning on the other side was talking offensive lineman. He said that he really has a position to fill on the offensive right tackle spot.
Well, the town is all talking about Flutie, right?
Yeah.
Marion said there are not many great offensive tackles and defensive ends coming along. If you get one, they're a 10-year professional for you. Pasarchi going for all of it on 2nd down and 10, and it's knocked away at the 39. Pridemore again involved. Joe left for one play when he was hurt. Young May came in and threw a strike and then let the starter come back.
Here it is, the ace or the stacked deck or the Hail Mary, whatever you want to call it. 3 receivers all down, and then it's 50-50 chance you'll come down with it. Time the ground came down with it. That's like black showing up on the roulette wheel.
R.C. Owens used to run stuff like that back when I played when the ball was around, you know. And he could jump so high that we waited for him to come down, and then we sort of grabbed it. The ball was around. 3rd down and 10 on the 20. Shotgun. Last-ditch effort's what it is, overthrowing Spagnola. Clock is stopped again. That's Kenny, number 73, big offensive left guard. They've worked for Kenny Iman very hard, these young people. Dennard and Kenny and Moraldi, Leonard Mitchell, Baker. Kenny Iman's done some job with them, but it's been a tough day to block that Atlanta rush. 4th down and 10. Less than a minute. This one is thrown by Pisarcik about 60 yards in the air and caught, I believe, by Mike Quick or Kenny Jackson. It's Mike Quick at the 40-yard line. And that ball had to stay up there with a hang time of 5 seconds.
No timeouts for the Eagles, and you see the clock in the lower right hand of your screen.
$14 seconds. You can see it. Everybody's set. Outside, Montgomery. Maybe the last play of the season and the game. But folks, in Philadelphia, your Eagles are coming home. To 10, Atlanta. 26 to 10. Once again, the final score from Atlanta is 26 to 10. Atlanta beating the Eagles. For Wayne Walker, this is Tom Brookshire saying so long from Atlanta. Don't forget, next weekend, CBS Sports coverage of the NFC wildcard game. You'll see the Rams against either Dallas or the Giants. You've been watching CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League, and your Eagles are coming home.